Hey kids, you're listening to the internet's wettest podcast about video games, consoles, and pancakes. The SML Podcast.
Prepare for the SML Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast. I am your host, Joe. We have a big-ass party cast today for a couple of reasons. First off, next week's VGM Con. So Vaughn is back. Vaughn, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to next weekend.
Me too. And also because it's VGM Con, Flik is back. Flik, how are you doing?
I am. I think.
Yay.
I'm good. Yeah.
And then, of course, it's the show. So Aki, Jacob, and Bri are here.
Yo.
Hey, y'all.
Yeah. And then Ian's hanging out. Doc Havok is here. Doc, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, man.
And then the man of the hour, birthday boy, Stemage. Grant Henry is here. Grant, how are you doing?
I'll take it. I'm good. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday
Wait, it's your
to
birthday?
you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Grant.
You gotta do the growl now. You do the growl,
Happy
Joe?
birthday to Love you, Grant. Happy birthday.
Well, I'm going to raise my drink to that. Happy birthday, Grant. Happy
Thanks.
30th birthday.
Yep, let's call it that. Let's say that. That's fantastic.
Heck,
Cheers. I can drink now. I can
So
wrap
how
up.
is everybody doing? It's a fun party episode. We might have some other people dropping by later. But yeah, VGM Con. I guess I got to reveal the news officially. I cannot make VGM Con this year. I had to cancel my trip due to some severe headaches, and I think health-wise, I shouldn't make a trip like that. So instead, I'm bringing you guys to me. How's it going?
It's
I like
going. And you know what, Joe? You
like
got to take care of you first, because
You really do.
if you forced yourself to go and you just weren't feeling good, it's not a fun time.
Yeah.
No,
And
you're gonna have quite
because I was-
the trip out too. So quite the lengthy
Yeah,
travel
day and a
experience.
half
So
all. So I figured better to cut my losses, stay home, stay healthy, watch it online, because you're going to be streaming it this year, yeah?
Yeah, not quite the full 72 hours, but yeah, we'll have the warp stage doing its thing, run by, of course, bonus stage, Josh from bonus stage. They'll be running that all weekend. With that stage, just kind of keeps getting better and better with their production and what they're doing. So a lot to expect from them this year. And we also do our speedrunning marathon all online throughout the entire weekend, both raising money for charity as well. So maybe, donate a couple bucks to see silly things happen on the speed runs or during the warp stage stuff. But yeah, sorry you won't be able to make it. We'll miss you. Oh man, let me pull up that schedule. They run. I think they do run almost 24 hours a day. We're not able to do that with the warp stage, but they switch from they do in-person events on site at VGM Con streaming, and then they switch to doing online stuff overnight. And they usually have a restream. I think they have a French one, and it's called the Baguette stream, of course, and then a Japanese language restream. But yeah, Midwest Speedfest runs almost the entire time. I think they have their schedule out, so let me see if there's any highlights here.
I will say that's one cool thing about some of the groups like that at VGM Con. They're hardcore, and they're doing stuff for a great cause, but it's you go, that's pretty amazing.
yeah, they go hard.
I think we all go pretty hard there, to be
Everybody goes
honest.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy weekend based on my time there last year. I'm bummed I won't be there, mainly because, Grant, you're playing, aren't you?
Yes, I am guesting on a number of different acts this year. I was going to go. I got my ticket the day the banks open. I got my room, and I was just planning on go out the cheapest flight, tin can and was not going to take a guitar, and then somehow between now and then, I'm borrowing a guitar and playing with 4-acts. So not the whole thing. But I'm playing several songs with several different bands over the course of the weekend. So that will limit the day drinking.
Any surprise songs you can announce that you're going to be?
Well, I think it's been mentioned that I'm playing with. Oh my god, I just see my face on Twitch. That's crazy. I'm playing with Ian Cowell and the Goblins. I'm playing some songs with Lauren the Flute, and then I always tend to join KDB whenever they're around. And there's another one that I don't even know if I'm supposed to say, so I'm just not going to say it. But yeah, I got a couple. I got some jobs. I got some work to do this weekend.
Who else is working?
Admitted Grant.
Oh, our good buddy Mustin's working there. Mustin, how are you doing?
Fuck you.
I love you too, buddy. How are you doing, Mustin?
That'd be great if that's.
I'm so tired, man. I'm so beat down. I can't wait for April 15.
Wait, that's after the con.
That's when I can relax for a minute. I'm going to curl up on Flik's lap, and I'm going to go to sleep right there on his lap.
Aww.
I'm quite literally, because he's probably going to follow me back to my place and hang out.
If my car doesn't explode, yes.
If your car does explode, then you just get in my truck and we drive on back.
Okay, it's on.
So, Mustin, you excited for VGM Con? Oh, we got a lot of people here.
Very excited.
Hockey's here, Ian's here, Flik is here, Bri is here, Jacob's here, Grant's here, Vaughn's here, and you're here.
Wow. Shnikes.
Fantastic. A lot of people here.
My Discord window is box shaped, so we have a party in a box here.
Tremendous.
And Jacob's here, so you have a dick in a box.
Whoa!
Wonderful. Yes, I'm very excited, and somehow this is the most prepared I've ever been. I am holding the new album in my hand, and I did not have to pay for it to be overnighted to the venue for the first time. So that's pretty cool.
It took you 20x years to get to this point, but you're saying this is the most prepared ever? This is it? Wow. Well done.
Yeah. I'm also pawned off most playing to other people, so I don't have to practice so much stuff.
MC your own band?
And yeah.
I love it.
MC. I got this big clock necklace coming in the mail tomorrow.
Yeah. So you're going to have Grant working with you this year? You two going to team up at all?
Who?
We're always teaming up.
The Stemage fellow working with the OneUps. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen on a week from Saturday.
Really? God, I guess I should prepare. You know?
You better, man, because I put so
just
much
wing
work
it. You'll be
into that
fine.
Shit. You saw like the work that I did, right? Like I made videos for each person so that they could play along with their part empty. You know what I mean? Like it was so much stuff.
I can say with confidence. I can say with confidence, this is the most prepared you have ever been for a show.
Good.
I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, man. It's nice to not be so last minute, but I still have a lot to do. I just shot my commercial video thing.
Oh, cool.
Today, and I got to edit that. It's supposed to be uploading. Stupid daggum Google.
Upload.
It's not like a commercial. I had a commercial that I was going to do for VGM Con, but I never heard back on a budget because I couldn't do it for free this year with my time and everything. And I was going to do a VGM. It was going to be called. There's this great SNL sketch with Kristen Wiig and Alec Baldwin, and they're debuting the time microwave. It's a microwave that gives you the food when you're hungry. And then when you're done eating, all you have to do is take the meal out of the freezer and put it in the time microwave and set it in the time in the past. And then Kristen asks, well, what happens if you forget what time? And then he says, well, it would cause there to be some rifts in the space-time continuum, but that won't happen. And then it cuts back to her, and she has a completely different haircut and different hair color. And then it cuts back to him, and he has a mustache. So I was stealing that idea. And one of my favorite things that I've ever done in my life, I came up with the dumbest name. This girl that I go to improv with, she was going to be my girl, and I was going to be Alec Baldwin. And my name was literally going to be Alec Baldwin. And her name, this is the dumbest name. Her name was Cynthia Caesar Ranch. I just love this stupid name. The last, because it was going to be on the screen, hyphenated. Caesar Ranch is her last name, because she married someone with the last name Caesar, and her last name was wrong. It's just so stupidly brilliant. But we were going to do that, and I was going to be showing the VGM controller, and it was going to be this little doohickey that you turn, and like if you wanted to go around in a video game conference and see the different stuff. And she's like, well, what if you want to go to the artist alley? And then I would turn the knob on it, and then we would be in this room, and there would be like some art stuff. And then, well, what if we want to go to the games room? And then we were gonna be in the arcade, the local arcade here. And then she was gonna have a different haircut, and I was gonna have, some kind of mask on. And then we were gonna go see the bands. And when we would go to see the bands, we'd go to the Cat Cafe here. And each cat would have like Steel Samurai written on a sign the cat's wearing. And there would be a cat that was wearing a sign that said the OneUps. And I just hold it up. And but anyway, I didn't do all that. That was going to be a lot of work. It would have been fun. It would have cost money and time for materials. But all I did today was sit in the picture room and wildly curse into the camera about how the OneUps are the greatest band on the universe and you need to go see them. And there's a new EP coming out, but you can't buy it. You have to buy $5 or more in merchandise, and you will get it for free. It's like a pack-in with everything that you buy.
Oh,
That's a good deal.
Yeah, it's a sick deal.
Well, I can't take this stuff around. Like I just had to move. I got rid of my entire apartment, and I shoved it down to 2 little bedrooms. And I can't be lugging around these hundreds of CDs for the rest of my life. So VGM Con said you can have 8 different items and you can have up to 50 of them. And my whole idea was to just have this pick and choose every album. The OneUps album, Bad Dudes album, Mustin album, the Altered Beat, any Mustin Enterprises album would be laid out there, like all 19 of them. And you could pick 5 for $1 each, and then you would get the EP for free. But we can't do 8. We can't do that because there was only 8 allowed. You know what I'm saying? Like they only allowed for 8. This is if for them to sell it, and I can't sell my own shit because I got to do things. So I think it's like the Nintendo with restriction comes innovation. So what I did was I bought 50 of those nice little bags that you get when you buy like gourmet macarons or like cupcakes. They're brown bags, and they have the little handles, and then they have a sticker that says whatever the name of the business is. I got those, and my daughter and I are going to stuff them with 5 completely random albums, still like sealed, and then that EP, and put them in there. And I got a sticker that has the annoying dog from Undertale because it's an Undertale EP, and it says annoying doggy bag, and the annoying dog is saying much wonder, and that's what seals it shut. Plus there'll be bonus stuff in there too, because I have like 1 CD left from the very first printing of the OneUps Volume 1, still in the jewel case, still sealed.
Damn.
Throw that in there.
Wow.
Child's Play CD 2008. I have some like Lego figures. I have like some bouncy balls. I'm just going to put shit in there and make it fun and sell all 50 of them. God damn it. And that way I can unload 250 CDs.
That's a fantastic idea.
Just one of
I
the
think
bags
both
have
of
your
you
soul in
helped.
it.
No, my soul is already gone. Satan
Damn
has
it.
it up his asshole. That's what gets him out of bed every morning. But yeah, I think you two, I ran that idea by you, and everybody that I talked to helped me put together more and more of an idea of what to do. But I think it's going to be good. It's just, I just hope, and everybody I talked to, I mean, like, $5 damn. Help me out. You're getting 5 full albums, this new EP, and possibly a fork that's still in the plastic from Wendy's. Like, you don't know.
Damn.
So please buy this. It's less than a fucking sandwich.
Can we
get this out?
Can we pay more?
Yes, you can pay. Well, I mean, that's really going to be up to VGM Con, but I'm going to have the vinyl there. Please, I'm going to ask everybody there multiple times. You will. I will be the most annoying person at VGM Con this year because I have to get rid of these vinyl. $35.
I'm not allowed to get any more. I think I have 2 already.
Okay, well, I just need people to buy it because it'll have the EP in the sleeve, and then I have the coasters and the pins and I think one other thing.
What is this
minute,
EP that you're hyping up?
It is an Undertale EP that we started recording sporadically before the pandemic. In my married household, my marital home before the divorce, we made a video of a little papyrus doll sitting next to Jared and doing the drums. And like William recorded his part 2 weeks ago to Jared's drums. Like it was just so sporadic that we recorded this stuff. It's just it's actually 4 tracks, but it's 3 tunes. We've got, it's called Dating Tale, which is the dating music, and then like a traditional, it's pretty much a cover of Undertale. And then the second one is called Undertale, the Two of Us, where we made it just sound like just the two of us. So it's the same thing, and it's Undertale music, but I mean the motif plays the whole game, so whatever. And then the third one, my daughter, I would go wake her up in the morning, and she was listening to that one called Ooh So Temperate. It's just like this really chill tune, and she just had it playing for 10 hours when she was asleep. I was like, that's pretty cool. So why don't we do a cool, mellow version? And all 4 of us did like weird stuff in the studio, not our instruments. Jared was holding up a big water bottle and took a rubber ear that my daughter gave me and hit it, and it goes, whoa.
Very 10 hours long?
And so, no, it's just a 2.5 minute like meditation. But then track 4 is listed as just a digital, like a pixelated cloud. And track 4 is 60 minutes of just that track looped.
Nice.
And then this won't be on streaming. You're just gonna get it. That's it. I might put it on streaming way later.
Fuck, how can I get it?
I was just saying, I'm going to send you the MP3s here when I remember, probably later tonight.
Dope. Are we okay to play one on the show?
No, you're not. Don't ask again.
Joe, do you have the vinyl?
I do have the vinyl. It's sitting on my shelf behind me.
Good.
It's the one thing he kept.
I got rid of nearly all of my CDs. I donated my Green Time and Space to MagFest, and they put it with the big package Mustin sent. Went for a decent amount. I want to say like, I can't even remember. It was a few hundred, I think.
It's like $400 or something. Oh yeah, and the random CDs, that reminds me, is that when I'm going to put in 5 of the Mustin Enterprises albums, and then you'll get it whatever, like just to make the idea make sense. I also have a CD, a Brad Paisley CD signed by Brad Paisley.
Yeah, that's that one. That gets me. A fork is funny, but that's just like, what are we? I love it.
And then I also have like, I think it's an anniversary album or a greatest hits album of the Doobie Brothers, and I can't make out all of them, but one of the signatures is with fucking marker Michael McDonald. So that'll go in there. So someone's, I hope that people will open these and go, dude, I got a fucking signed Michael McDonald album. Where? In the OneUps booth. I bought a random bag for $5. Holy shit. I'm going to go buy 3 because I just got $15 from my mom. Let's do it.
I'm buying at least 1.
Let's go.
Yeah, this is like, it's funny. I recently did a second purge on CDs. Before I kept like favorites and rarities and stuff from local bands and all that, and then this time I just kind of got rid of everything except for the stuff you just can't get anymore. Like any popular disc is gone. But I have that Child's Play CD. I don't remember if I got it. I don't know when I got it, where I got it. But that thing is, it's got like I don't know why you have so many copies of that. Was that a Mustin spearheaded thing, the Child's Play CD from 2008?
Yeah.
Okay.
I produced Robert Koo, who used to be, he was the guy that turned it all around. And he made packs, and he kept those guys from going under because they accidentally sold their company to somebody else. But Robert Koo, I reached out to him after the first packs where I met him, and he had us come out to the first pack, and he was very cool. And then I got this idea. I'm like, there's all these bands, there's all these musicians that have played here. So I put together a 1-page proposal to make an album with all the benefits going to Child's Play, and then here's the cost involved for the artwork, the manufacturing, the shipping, and then I'll handle getting all the musicians and getting them to sign on and do it, for free. And he literally said at the time, he was like, "This is the best proposal that I've ever seen in my entire life, and I've seen many, many proposals." And I was like, yeah. So that made me feel good.
Well, this thing's a banger. I'm on a Gucci, Arm Cannon, Freeze Pop, Virt, Jonathan Colt,
Virt's track,
MC Lars, OneUps Select Start, Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
It's like who's who from that time, and
from that time, yeah.
Yeah.
And Virt's track is one of the greatest freaking chip tunes ever made.
Plasma Texture. That track it's my favorite chiptune song of all time. Is Plasma.
Me too. That's me too.
100%. Yeah.
Yes, me too. And I've had people, more than one person tell me, dude, I listened to this, and my dad heard me, and it was the first time he didn't yell at me about it, because he was like, dude, this sounds like fucking like
real music.
It sounds like the shit I listened to in the 70s.
Yeah,
good stuff, man. So
whatever song we're gonna play at the end of this episode, Virt's getting some love.
They found 1,000. Hey, we made 1,000, and then you could only they had it at the Child's Play gala that they do, and then I think they had it online for sale, and then I believe they found a box that had 82 in there, and they just sent it to me, and so that's how I ended up with them. I think I've got 18 left, and I'm going to put them in those goodie bags.
Well, if you're VGM Con, you hope you get one of these, because it's gold. I will say Select Start I'm super fond of, because it was the first time that a 4-string quartet ever got a holy shit chant. And this is 2009, 8, whatever. And I think these days, Videri string quartets used to getting holy shit chants, but back then these conservatory kids, they did not know how to react. That's not how you don't act like that in conservatory. It was just a very funny thing to
it was, yeah.
A quartet.
You and I were there.
Yeah.
You and I were there. I don't know if we were standing next to each other or not, but I helped them get a little bit of stuff set up. What was that? The Alexandria, and and then they just started playing a tune, and then it was great, and everybody was into it. And then they started playing the next, I think it was Elaine was saying, this next piece is from Secret. And I just go, "Who are you?" And she goes, "Oh, we're Select Start." And that's when everybody went fucking crazy. Great.
Awesome. That's great.
They were one of the first 10 bands.
Yeah.
It was.
Yep. Old guard.
Back in the day, man. Old guard.
I remember the old days. They were good.
Now we got New Guard, which is a whole convention devoted to the musicians that play the big conventions, which I am so thankful for at this time. It's nuts. It's nuts how things have changed. It's great.
I gotta say, going from all the days of where I used to go to MagFest all the time, and then getting involved in VGM Con over the years, and seeing things grow from some of these other bands to where suddenly bands that played MagFest started coming into VGM Con, and I'm like, oh, it's growing. It's all coming back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will say it's wild to have seen VGM Con grow from when I came into it to where it is now. And it's like, this is good. I like it.
I have a Vaughn question. We're not, Vaughn, just so you know, you run VGM Con, but we're not actually going to let you talk about it. But I do have a question. I'm curious to know, what is the headcount looking like? Like this time, year over year. What are the pre-regs looking like? Are you guys growing like you thought you might be? How are things feeling at the moment?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's weird because I mean, like if you looked at a chart of like the ticket sales and registrations, it's always like we're like biting our nails off, like pulling our hair out, watching it because it's always like so late. Everyone waits until like a week or two before, so like we're at the point where it's like starting to kind of really ramp up, like 90% of our ticket sales somehow every time are like in the last month for sure before the event, and it makes us all kind of panic until we hit that. It is looking like I have my email set where like every time a ticket gets sold, I get I see it on my email and there's like a little dopamine of like, okay. And I've been seeing a lot of those the last like 10 days or so. So I'm thinking that I think we're on track to definitely grow and officially break 1,000 this year. So,
wow.
Yeah, that'll be a first. Last year, we were like just under 1,000. It was like 900. The final count, including like volunteers, was like 960, something like that.
Oh, wow.
We're also doing better about just like generally tracking all of the badges so that we know, so that everyone that's there has like a registered badge with a name. And this year, it is looking like we'll finally hit that 1,000 threshold and break that. That's been like a long time goal where we thought like, we thought coming out of 2020, we'll probably hit that next year. And then, the pandemic reset that kind of just, put everything back, set us back like 4 years. But it's looking like we're finally going to cross that milestone. So, but yeah, it's nerve-wracking every year. Like, it's now that we're used to it, it's easier to like cope with because we know that's what we know we can expect it to all ramp up right at the end. But yeah, it is. It makes me panic a little bit every time. Still.
Sure.
And Vaughn, didn't we sell out the hotel last year?
Hotel sold out last year. Hotel is currently sold out this year, and we, for the first time, have had to we've asked a couple hotels in the area to do to give us like an overflow contract where we can lock rooms in at a certain rate for people who are still looking to get a hotel in the area around VGM Con. So we've sold it out I think earlier this year by a week or two. So yeah, things are looking good for numbers this year. I'm excited to see what it'll be like. That's awesome. Some other cool changes. We have our underground stage this year where that's going to be like an EDM only stage. And essentially when the artist merchandise area closes down for the day, we'll open up the underground stage. And then that kind of being led by Hate 08, Theology, some of our local EDM guys here. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how that works, to have like a dedicated space for EDM and kind of give it its own home and give it some extra love, make sure it can run, not just the last show or two of the night, but to give it like its own space in the convention.
But you're not doing underground in the basement of the hotel?
We could start excavating. We'd have to get started.
That would have made sense, man.
If you got some pickaxes, we could go see what we can do.
Let's go spelunking.
Yeah.
It is on the lowest level, though. It is on the lowest level of the hotel. So it kind of makes sense.
Well, there we go. We should probably check in on people. Hey, Aki, how's your Bailey's?
It did not go well. We'll just leave it at that. It did not go well.
Details.
What is that? Little past its prime?
Oh yeah.
Did it come back out?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Oh well, I'm going to raise my glass to you. Cheers, my good sir.
Wow.
So Bailey's Thick and Chunky is not getting a 5-star review.
No, it's not. It's really not. Mm-mm.
please make sure to dump the rest out.
Oh, I did already. I did. And it made me sad because it was like half a bottle. Because I don't drink very often. When I drink a lot, but I don't do it very often. So there was a lot left in there. It made me very sad.
I appreciate you taking the hit for my B-Day. I hope this doesn't sour you on future B-Day podcasts. You're gonna have to
next
get a
time
freshie.
I'll make sure I buy booze earlier.
Get a freshie for next year.
Aki's fine.
Yeah.
She's a trooper.
Yeah.
Wait, what is the lifespan of Bailey's Once to Open? Like, does anybody know?
I usually
It's
down
like,
my Irish cream within a week.
Yeah, at most it's like 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh, I should go through my...
if you keep it closed, you can hold on to it for a good spell. But once you pop it open, then you kind of want to drink it somewhat expeditiously.
Yeah, I tend to... I'll drink mine up to like 6 months because it's still okay-ish there. Most people wouldn't want it, but I don't particularly mind. But anything beyond that, I would not suggest. That stuff has probably been in there for over a year. So...
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Whoa.
Even unopened, a year is
not good anymore. No, not at all.
Yeah, it's pretty long in the tooth.
Well, thank you for not leaving us and still being alive.
Oh, that wouldn't have killed me. I've consumed significantly worse and significantly higher quantities.
Look, we've been trying to kill her for years now. Nothing fucking kills her.
Yeah,
she had tornadoes swarming her area last night, and I'm just like, leave your mic on so we can hear you scream.
Oh, wait, sweet. Are you Midwest fun too?
Yeah, Indiana.
Midwest disaster. I'm the upper end of it, so I just got snow.
Yeah, we in the area around me, there were 5 tornadoes.
Jeez.
I want a tornado too.
No, you really don't.
I did see
want a tornado.
I saw one once. I don't know, because sometimes weather is interesting if it's in a distance far away that I can see it, just not touch it.
Okay, fair. Then yes, I can agree with that statement.
Our area, I live next to a river, and
so do I.
15 years ago or so, we had a catastrophic flood. It was like historic levels in our area, destroying whole towns, and I was just fascinated by it. I couldn't stop watching news coverage of just cities underwater. It blows my mind that weather and nature can do such crazy shit.
Yeah, I'm under a flood warning right now, and will be until Sunday, because it's going to be storming every single day, and it's already at flood warning levels.
We've gotten lucky because I'm in the Fargo area. We've gotten lucky the past few years that we haven't had the crazy flooding we usually do. And the worst it ever got was insane. Like, National Guard came here and everything. And like, the river was just mega high, touching like the bottom of the bridge. Like, nature's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would say my claim to weather phenomena is when I saw I'm going to call it a quote unquote weather system, but basically it was a tornado that was trying to form but couldn't quite reach far enough. So as it was, like, I wouldn't say it made it halfway to the ground. I'd say it made it like about a third of the way to the ground, but it was too chaotic to really solidify.
So it was trying to fart.
Yeah, it was trying to fart and form, and I saw it just slowly cruising down the valley. Now, here's the thing. I live in upstate New York. You should not be seeing that shit up here. That's why it kind of
someone who
creeps
lives
me
in
out.
Tornado Alley, that would have freaked me out still.
Yeah, like,
So
I'm not even in the nosebleed
there.
section of Tornado Alley, and is like, that should not be happening up here. I live in the fucking hills.
Now, Mustin, you live in crazy weatherland too. What's the craziest thing you've seen?
Probably a dog riding a cat. It was
like literally, or wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
No, it had like a fucking saddle and shit. It was a big cat, but that was the crazy shit that I've seen. As far as weather goes, yesterday I was sitting in my Jeep, Grand Cherokee, and it was like there all these warnings and shit, and nothing was really happening. And I'm just like working. I'm doing a bunch of handyman stuff, and I was just sitting there eating, I think, on my quote unquote break, and I just was sitting there and like watching a show, and then this gust of wind came. I swear, like 2 of the wheels came up off the ground. There was just this huge gust of wind, and then that was it, and nothing else happened after that. It wasn't even. I don't know. It was creepy, man.
Damn.
That was the weirdest thing I experienced.
It's like one of those wind shear sort of things.
Arkansas gets some crazy ass storms. When the summer I spent down there living with the Creeches, I remember the one night it was like a strobe light. There was just so much lightning. It was nonstop thunder and lightning. It was unbelievable to me. I never saw a storm like that in my life.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean,
I remember a time
to see it from a distance.
I think I remember a time when like me, Mustin, and Dale, I think we're going to Texas or something, and we had to pull over. We had to pull over on the side of the road because it was raining so freaking hard you couldn't see shit.
Yeah, it was intense.
I can't remember who was driving. It was probably Dale, and he's like, "Fuck this shit," and just pulled onto the shoulder.
Yeah, it sounds like Dale.
Yep.
Like driving through blizzards. I had me and my wife were driving to a mall so we could pick up a friggin' amiibo, and out of nowhere there was like a 0 visibility squall, and like
Not worth it.
we were driving 5 on the highway.
Yeah, that's tough. 5 is not good.
Yeah,
and
like, this isn't
on an
worth the
interstate.
trip.
That was the wildest shit for me, like that I've ever done. It wasn't Arkansas though. I think it was in Iowa. I was on my way up to see my hot little blonde Minnesota girlfriend all the way from Arkansas. So I was very motivated, and I was driving through a blizzard. It was like, this is a blizzard. You are in blizzard time. And I was like, cool. And the visibility was like maybe like 100 feet. And I'm driving, and there's no one on the road because I'm crazy. And so this slow fade in of a huge semi just jackknifed on its side across both sides over the medium and over the middle. Like it was in this lane and it was in that lane. And it was just terrifying because it just faded in like Silent Hill. And then I just kept going, putting along in my little Honda Accord hatchback, chain smoking, trying to get to girl.
Damn.
It was so scary, man. But I was going like
stupid thing.
10 miles.
Of pussy. Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
You know, Vaughn would appreciate this. One of the
There's
times.
a hole, there's a goal.
Years ago, I was driving to Minneapolis from Fargo, I-94. It was one of those nights where it was super foggy. You could see like 10 feet in front of you. And here's me, Captain Idiot, still doing the speed limit, like 70. And the only way I was navigating the freaking interstate was the fact that I had my GPS up and I'm like, oh, I see a corner is coming up.
Oh,
and
man.
there it is. So I'm just driving
by the mini map.
Use the false.
That was probably with the GPS that I had my icon as a burrito. It was good.
My God.
The more that I hear you guys telling these kinds of stories, the more I'm less and less surprised by why you all have shorter lifespans.
Well, I'm not. Wait, maybe I did die. Oh God, I gotta check my pulse.
You're on this show. You are
check your
in
balls?
hell.
Well, no, like maybe I'm a zombie. I don't know, Joe. We'll find out next week at VGM Con. What?
Everyone come check. Make sure Flik's okay.
I do want to see one day if I can actually still climb onto Joe's shoulders, or if I'm just like all creaky bones and like, ow, I can't do it, Joe.
You climb up on my shoulders and my back just gives out and I fold in half.
No, dude, this is the moment for both of us. Your back folds up, my joints, my hip or something is like cracking. I'm like, well, that's it.
I mean, if you can figure out how to get Joe's back to blow out to make it easier for the climb.
Joe, get lower. Okay, back's already broken. So back on
man.
VGM Con topics here. what is, well, I guess for the people that are going here, what is 2 things you're looking forward to? Let's start with Vaughn.
2 things I'm looking forward to. We're having Kirby's Dream Band for the first time, so that's going to be very exciting and kind of
Very nice.
Like you were saying earlier, Flik, like that feeling of knowing where this ragtag little conventions come from, and now to have these groups that like we've seen before at all of these other conventions and at MagFest. So that I think that'll be really a great feeling. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the vibes will be like at the underground stage. It's like when we try something for the first time, it can go either way, but when it works, that's always a really good feeling too. So I'm looking forward to see how the EDM VGMers are going to be enjoying that area.
EDM VGMers.
A lot of letters.
A lot of letters in a row.
I like
VGM EDMers?
Yeah, what's first, the EDM or the VGM?
Con.
This is difficult.
The EDM VGM Con VGMers.
That's enough.
That works.
All right, Grant, what's 2 things you're anticipating or looking forward to?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to include the playing part because it's always number one. Is I like to walk into the building knowing I could walk directly to the stage and play well, right? Like I try to come prepared like that, right, Mustin? That's how we do.
Yep. How we do.
So even that, I don't know. Like, there's 2 main things. It's seeing bands I rarely get to see and seeing friends I rarely get to see. So I will echo the KDB thing because I haven't seen some of those guys in years, which is really exciting. And then, gosh, I mean, I don't know. It's there's always stuff that happens that's completely unexpected. One year, Mustin gave me a hat that has a light built into the brim, so you can like do work, but and see what you're doing. You gave me and House, I think. Did you give us those hats?
Yes.
Yeah. Things like that. If that makes any sense, but like, there's always just something weird. There's always something weird that I don't know I'm going to enjoy as much as I do. So I'll say seeing peeps and then getting hats with lights on them. Yeah.
You got a hat which is used to keep light out of your face, only to have a light installed into the hat which goes into your face.
Oh, but Aki, it's like a ball cap, but there's an LED light on the brim. It's a ball cap, but there's light on the brim that points forward, and it's very concealed. You can't even tell there's a light on there. So you have a functional hat / headlamp that you can use for things. Aki, does that make sense?
Okay, that does sound a little... that sounds significantly better than what I was thinking. Okay, yes. Fair enough. All right.
Now, Grant, in Mustin fashion, did he just randomly walk up to you and be like, take this to survive?
You know Mustin. Yes.
I do.
Yes. That's exactly.
I heard of him.
Take this to survive, he said. Now take a picture with me, with my Polaroid. That's exactly how it went. Just like that.
Oh, I would have said it's dangerous to go alone. Take this, but I don't think that's what happened. Wasn't I just wearing one? And they were like, dude, that's cool. And then I came back. No, I just gave it to you.
You just gave it to me.
What a fucking nice guy.
I know. Me and House. The 2 guys who, it's the kind of thing you get it and you're like, I don't need this right now, but as soon as I get home, I'm going to find something to use this on. So
that's a goddamn $22 hat.
We're talking about these hats for so long. I don't know how you ended up with 2 of these hats and they were like brand new, but they went to me and House and it was fantastic. It was me and House, a backpack full of beer, and then these hats. I don't know. Anyway, good stuff.
I used to work at a hat company, and for some reason they discontinued it. I think because it was so expensive. Because even though it has 4, CR32 batteries in it, it is still waterproof. I don't know. I don't know. They went under, and so I stole a bunch of the remaining inventory, and I've just been giving it to friends. My
rarity.
Yes, gotcha.
How many
my
are
former
in the
wife
doggy bags at VGM Con?
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a little too big for the bag, but
bag.
My former wife loved it because when she was reading, it was the ultimate mom hat, she said, because she could read to the kids and all the other lights would be off, and it was like not super bright and like nighttime reading and stuff. Yeah. And then you punch the kid really hard in the face, it goes to sleep, and then you walk out of there.
Yep, with your light on. Yeah.
I approve.
Yeah, I think I outside of the hat, I'm really excited about seeing the OneUps, and I'm really excited about seeing Theology. Theology every year is really special, and he'll be down in the EDM area, so I'm excited to see everybody. But those are all two band highlights for me too. So
I'll say before I had to scrap my trip, the two big reasons I were going to go were the OneUps, obviously. I've been to so many OneUp shows that I hate missing them at this point because I don't know how many more I'm going to get to in my life. But I wanted to see Super High Tops as well because our buddy Chris Taylor's in that one.
Oh yeah, yep. There's a ton. Oh my gosh,
a lot of good performances this year. Look, what are you looking forward to?
Oh, me? Oh God, I was hoping to go last. No, it's fine. So with a lot of the involvement I have, I'm, from, I guess, a non-performance standpoint, I'm looking forward to the amount of tech craziness we're going to try and pull off again this year, because we keep growing it exponentially. Last year, I introduced the video wall to Boss Stage, and that was like an insane game changer. And now we're up to 2 video walls. Oopsie.
Damn.
Wow.
But like, oops, all video walls.
So like doing the video walls, doing the the nice digital audio consoles we're using, trying to do some better stuff with lighting. There's some other crazy things we're going to try and do. I'm not going to talk about yet because maybe they happen, maybe they don't, but they do light up. So just the anticipation of hoping that stuff really comes off well. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to. And then I guess, performances aside, I'm really just looking forward to spending a lot of quality time with friends. Hanging out with Tony again, hanging out with Mustin and Grant, and Alexander Brandon's going to be there. Nice. a lot of good people, and that's honestly what I enjoy the most over everything. It's just I get to see a bunch of friends, and everyone's happy and having a good time.
That's honestly what hurts the most about not being able to go this year, is not being able to see you guys.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, we're going to get you the magical transporter next year, because look, those special socks that Thomas was talking about, those are actual like dimensional rift socks. So anybody that wears them can just transport wherever they want to go. I know Vaughn's not going to admit that, but I know the truth.
I can't comment, but what he said.
So Joe, we'll get you a pair of those next year. You can be like, I don't got a train ride or drive my van. Just, I'm there.
I don't even have a van anymore. I miss that thing.
We can make that VGM controller. That was the whole point. You can
get your development going on.
Be careful.
Mustin, what are you looking forward to at VGM Con?
The same thing. Just this is basically the mecca of this community. People say MagFest, but MagFest is got too much dip on his chip. Like I'll go one year and find out that like 2 or 3 people that I would love to have seen or meet for the first time were there, and I had no idea. And I might see someone for like a second, but I'll never see them again. And that's what whenever I'm on every like podcast interview and stuff, or when I'm telling people IRL, like, this con is so great because I'll go back to my room to fill up my flask with whiskey, and then I'll walk out, and walking out to go back to the place where people are, I'll pass Ailshon, and we'll do the nod. I'll see Grant, Stemage, and we'll do the Top Gun high five. I'll see Carlos Insane in the Rain music playing that piano. turn the corner, and there's Ian, and then there's Dom. Like it's just these people. It's like we're all at the same pizza party. We're all in the same Chuck E. Cheese, man. And we're getting the full Charles entertainment of it all. I love it. It's the people, and then meeting the new people. Last year was weird for me because there was one band, I already forgot the name, but they were all very good, and they were all very early 20s. And they were talking to me, and it was like one of the first times in my life I felt my age.
Yeah.
I don't really feel old at all, and people tell me that I don't act like it, and I talk like a kid a lot of times, and I use Gen Alpha slang before my Gen Alpha kid even knows what it means, and have to explain it to her. So I get to meet all the new people too, and everybody's just cool, and so far things are without incident, and I hope things stay that way, but people are people and unpredictable and whatnot. But I just find it to be the most comfortable place where I can show up and be like vulnerable, because I'm in my safe place with all my weirdo besties. So yeah, that's the thing I look forward to the most. I worked really hard to make sure we have a good show, and we will probably have the best show at VGM Con. But, earlier I was talking about the greatest band in the world. But that's so much prep. And when we get there, it's going to be like autopilot, but it's going to be really fun, you know? But otherwise, that's not even like in the top 3 things I'm excited about. Just seeing other people. We're going to do the OneUps are going to do a Q&A live arrangement clinic panel thing on Friday, which will be
That's
fun.
cool.
We've never
I don't know anything about
done that before. Yeah, it's I think a lot of people do it, and I think it's kind of like what the original what do they call it before Jam Space? They called it something else. It was like under Jam Clinic. I don't know. I remember we did it at MagFest once in some tiny room, and there were only like 11 people there, and then we like worked on a piece of music. Other than that, we've never done this before, and I think the strong thing about the OneUps, because we were popular really early on because we played jazz and funk and rock and a little bit of metal and Latin and bluegrass. Like we were just all over the place during a time when bands were all metal, like or rock. The Advantage, the Mini Bosses, Game Over, Neskimos, and then Select Start, and then us, and then there was a boom of bands in 2005. But having all these new people come out, and like when people tell me like, "Oh yeah, you guys are the best jazz band," and I was like, "No, dude, we're not jazz. Go if you like the OneUps, go listen to the OneUps Except Good, which is called The Consoles. It's a band in Australia. They're phenomenal, and they're just like this. Everybody is doing what we were trying to do better than us, except the one thing that really holds us down is that we have the arrangement part of it, like taking Double Dragon and turning it into the Terminator, and sneaking Daft Punk into Super Mario Kart, and like and doing these weird ideas, and making these arrangements that are just so out of left field. Like sometimes people will say on comments on YouTube videos like, "This isn't that music." Like somebody on the Super Mario Brothers theme that we did was like, this isn't the Super Mario theme. This is something you wrote something, and we're like, no, it is so arranged, and every chord is substituted, but it's still the daggum original music. So I like that idea that we do stuff so out there. That's what we hold on to. So when we do this clinic on that Friday, we'll whatever. I don't know what's going to happen. I think someone in the audience is going to just what do you call it? Suggest a tune that we've never heard before, and we'll just do the most crazy arrangement on the spot.
I love that.
I hope, and we'll answer questions in the meantime. Because William and Tim, the guitar players, are so hard up their asses about the chords. Like, they get so nerdy. They both have music degrees, and they're just I have a recording in case I ever needed it. I have it where they are just like fucking like screaming at each other in the garage about like a fucking flat five or not a flat five or something. You know, they're just like so mad they get so precious about that. So I figure that while they're battling out the chords and Jared is like trying to keep up and be like, no, man, you've got to be like, do the, and I'll just be able to be like, what's your question? And just let them fight, because they're all the geniuses, along with Nathan, our original sax player, Anthony, our second sax player, Moose, the bass player that replaced me during my time off with the baby. He was kind of spearheaded those really awesome F-Zero tracks that we did. But yeah, great arrangers, great musicians. I'm the worst musician in the band. I'm an excellent record producer. That's what I'm good at, but I am a shit musician. But hey, it's a lot of fun. So the people, and then playing, and then
we need to get William on this show one of these days. He did send a prepared statement. I want to play that right now.
Eat my dick for breakfast.
What?
Wow, that was some.
Joe, do you have the goddamn it somewhere?
I can add it quick, but
because that's a classic too.
It is.
Damn, that was some ASMR Will right there. That was up in my ear hole. That was $1,000 microphone. What was going on, Will?
Let's do this again, William.
Eat my dick for breakfast.
Oh God!
I'm sending him that message right now.
Are you saying $1,000 microphone because you know the story?
No, I don't know. Yes.
Oh.
No, I don't know the story.
Mustin, are you referencing a particular food microphone?
Well, yeah, but that I recorded him saying that with my I always call it my $1,000 microphone, which is my Neumann TLM 103.
Really? Oh, okay. I was right then. There we go.
So you were right. It's
but was that the spaghetti mic?
Yes. Yes,
What do
I have done. What do you win? How about retroactively a light hat?
I was about to say a hat with a light on it. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I'll get you some pants. Right. I'll get you some pants with the light on it next.
Okay, thank you. Socks with lights, please. Thanks.
Hey, Flik, this one's for you.
God damn it!
Oh, yeah! Oh, that was so good. It's almost like he was really here. He was here with us. You know, it's funny. Instead of using my $1,000 mic to even talk to you guys tonight, I just opened a drawer and I'm like, oh yeah, I've got a shotgun mic in here. So that's what I'm using.
Nice.
I'm editing video on my computer, so I'm using these little. Man, these are great. I found it on TikTok. You just plug it into the bottom of the phone, and these two lavalier mics. It was freaking $12, but it's so wonderful. I love these little guys. China rules.
Dude, for the video crew at VGM Con, I am providing them like a bunch of stuff. I've got just like a whole bunch of these little cameras with there's like a number of these like little tiny Rode microphones, these little shotgun mics. I don't know if they'll need them, but they'll be there. But just like a lot of this new little tech for doing video and audio stuff is just badass. I love it.
So I guess the side stage, the XP stage at MagFest, pulled in the VGM Con video crew. It was kind of what I had heard to film that stage. And because of that, my set with the Arcadian got like pro shot at the side stage of Mag. And it got to go up on the main channel of MagFest, which is incredible. I guess I need to find them all individually, but I was told it was the VGM Con video crew, a gaggle of people with glass came to Mag and filmed the side stage. Does that sound familiar?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Like last name Glass?
Oh no, Glass like that goes on a camera, but maybe last name Glass too. Glass is my last name.
Vaughn, would that have been Peter? Or
yeah,
Peter was mentioned.
Yeah,
Peter's name was mentioned.
Peter's brothers, whose name I can't remember, but Peter has a brother.
Other Peter.
Peter. Yeah,
I have a cat named
Peter
Peter.
Paul.
Yeah, I told Peter like my inventory list of all the cameras I'm bringing. He's like, sweet, heck yeah, because like the nice thing is for like anybody that isn't experienced in doing concert videography or things like that. Like I've got a bunch of these like DJI Osmo action cams, basically like GoPros, and these nice little kind of monopod stand things for them that are also battery packs, and you can just carry one of those around and get really good quality video without having to understand a ton about it. So there's plenty of those that maybe some beginners can use. I'll have the same, there's like some kind of a Sony camera and a nice DJI gimbal that I was using last year that one of the people can use, but there's going to be plenty of stuff. I think there's going to be a lot of great video coverage between the two stages and just hopefully anything else. So we should have a lot of cool stuff this year.
Sick.
I'm excited. I can't wait to watch it online, or as much as I can watch online. I'm so bummed I'm not going to be there, but I know you guys are going to have a good time. Vaughn, give us all the details. When is this going down? Which bands can we expect to see there? How can people in the area get involved?
Yeah, so it's happening a weekend from now, so April 11th through 13th in Minneapolis, Minnesota, with all kinds of music performances, panels, speed running, all kinds of wacky and fun stuff on the warp stage, jamming, and just general VGM camaraderie. It's man, for bands, we've got OneUps, Kirby's Dream Band, Steel Samurai. We've got with the DJs, we've got like Theology, 808, Ben Briggs, who I think was at like Gamers Rhapsody 2 in 2015 or something. Damn. Absolutely ridiculous.
I haven't seen Ben in forever. Oh my god.
He's coming back. And yeah, for people to get involved with VGM Con, I mean, we have such a small team of people that makes this possible, all just volunteering their time to make it happen, and are always looking for people that can help, whether it's on site at the event to volunteer with us, with running stages, lights, with helping in operations, even just badging, like checking for people that have their badges, or the band merch area. But then we also need help, year-round with like our website team. If you have any website skills, if you're good with graphic design or social media, or any other kind of just event planning or random skill you might have, we're always looking for more help with our growing team, and it takes a lot to make it happen. So yeah, but the end result, I think, is going to be pretty dang good. And yeah, it's a shame we won't be able to have you out this year, Joe, but really hoping to either catch you again at MagFest next year, or let's have you back for VGM Con 2026.
I absolutely hope I can make it next year. We should do a podcast recording at VGM Con.
I mentioned this last year. I pitched this.
Can I get a panel next year, and it'll be like just all of us in this channel right now on stage, well, at least who can attend, and we'll just chat. Or
Joe, the perfect spot, and anyone that's been a VGM Con can attest. the little mid upstairs hallway thingy that's kind of up in the front by the front desk, I think. It's just a super cool loungy area to hang out late at night and just shoot the shit. That would be a good podcast spot.
Actually, you should absolutely like hang in a public area and wave musicians over and stuff and get them to talk about things. It's like the passersby.
Yeah.
Enough people there. That would be cool.
That'd be neat.
Also, we're not going to be there next year, are we?
A camera or something.
We're not going to be at that hotel again, right? Have we outgrown that, or are we going to do it again, Vaughn?
We've got one more. We're contracted there for 2026, and then we're kind of going to see what things look like to potentially. There's a couple other options in the Minneapolis area that might work. It's not a lot of options, but there's a couple that we're kind of considering and getting some quotes from.
I definitely want to grow, but I also I'm so in love with this location for that good reason that Flik just said. I love that little spot. I remember
Mustin,
sitting down last year.
Mustin, were you at VGM Con at the previous hotel? I forget.
I played it 2019, and I thought it was like.
I think that was there at the old one, yeah.
The pool.
Because the old one was funny because it's like, oh, this is all right. But then you realize just how little space it actually was.
Yeah. It was
Vaughn, I remember when we got the hotel we're in now, and it's like, oh, this is baller. It has a bar. It has a restaurant. It has room. It was amazing.
Did feel like quite the upgrade from the old one. Yeah, like we didn't realize it while we were there, but it was tiny.
Well, I think we were limited to a panel room at the old one.
Damn.
It was such a weird layout. It was a hallway that everything was in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was one panel room. It's so hard to imagine going back to.
Well, we'll find out in the future how things look after next year. But for now, we do have to wrap up the VGM Con discussion. We have a lot more show we got to take care of. We got to talk news. You are all welcome to keep hanging out for the rest of the show if you want. If anybody needs to head out, totally understand. But we got news we got to take care of. Is anybody going to split?
I'm going to go. I'm almost done editing a video. That's how much I have not been paying attention to anybody right now. So
Mustin, before you go, I got just a funny tidbit for you. Guess what I've been talking to on the whole time here? Something you're familiar with.
What you've been talking to?
Well, what I've been talking through. No.
Oh, talking through?
It's red.
It's red. A Focusrite?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Specifically, the 18i8.
My busted ass one?
She's working.
Look at you fucking hilarious. I bought a brand new one. You're over here fixed it. Jesus. Well, that's awesome. You go, girl.
You'll touch it again. You'll touch it.
$200 gone.
I'll probably stick around for a little bit longer, but Mustin, good to talk to you, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. I gotta make like Edis and head out.
Hey, man, right, you gotta make like a cinnamon and roll.
Y'all be good. Be nice and love each other. And you'll see this video tomorrow.
Sweet. Yeah. Have yourself a good one, Mustin.
Later,
all
buddy.
right. Y'all be good. Bye-bye.
What about you, Vaughn? You sticking around or are you going to head out?
I'm going to head out too. I made the poor choice of not eating dinner yet. And coming back to haunt me. So
that's for next weekend, not this weekend.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You're right. I need to sleep and eat as well as I can now before like Thursday and all hell breaks loose.
I've always had this thing in my head where like if I just slept for 48 full hours before MagFest, I could just stay up all weekend. It doesn't work that way. Did you know that? It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't like cancel out?
No. Mm-mm.
I mean, with enough drugs, it works like that. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I don't know what I'm doing, Aki. I'm just a plebe.
It's like the opposite. The more sleep you get, the worse off you are.
Yeah. There you go.
Dragon ass. Vaughn, thank you so much for joining us, hanging out with us. Do you have any final words before we let you go?
Just again, a shame you won't be able to make it this year, but hope we catch you next year. To everyone that'll be there next weekend, definitely say hi. I'll be running around like crazy trying to solve problems and fix things, but I will have occasional moments of calm to have actual human conversations. And yeah, thanks for having me on as always, and see a lot of you next weekend.
Awesome.
I look forward to random drink with you, Vaughn.
Oh, that will be that's the moment of peace and intelligent human conversation that
there's no planned drink. It's going to happen, but who knows when, right? So
right. Yeah. You can't, if we tried to guess now, I mean, we could take bets when it would be.
That would be Sunday night.
It finally happens. Oh, sorry. Yes, we do actually need to take bets of whether there will be snow, because there's been snow in some form at every VGM Con until now.
I was looking at the weather just to see, because last year was the year that that it was so hot when we got there, and everyone was like smoking hot. Do you remember this? It was like super, super, super warm, and I'd lost my luggage, so I had no clothes to change into. And you can't. And in the Midwest, you can't just turn the AC on and then turn on the heat. It has to be. There's like a changeover that has to happen. I think it was like 85 when we got there, and then it was snowing by Sunday, something like that.
That might have been 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
I know everyone was talking about that event last year when I was there.
Okay, yeah.
Last year was still kind of warm though. Like there was a lot of people hanging out outside without jackets. So,
but it's looking pretty good so far. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, just when you come pick up your badges, I'll have my collections ready for the snow bet. So getting on the pool early, I'll let you know what happens. But thank you again, everyone.
All right, have a good one, Vaughn.
Take care. Give my badge to Flik.
Will do. We'll make one up for you. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Take care. All right, everyone ready to chat about news?
I'll try.
Is anything happening in gaming right now? I mean,
no,
it feels
nothing
pretty
really.
dead, right?
It's been a slow week, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Can anybody think of anything important that happened this week in gaming?
Absolutely not. No.
Should we?
What,
yeah. Let's
what was that?
Switch over to something
Nintendo
interesting.
Switch 2.
What? I didn't hear this.
It has the number 2 after it. They know how to count.
Is it? So is it better? Is it like 1 megahertz faster? What does it do?
Well, it is official. The Switch 2 is coming out this year. It's what, July? June? What was it?
June 5th.
June 5th. I got to pull up my email because that has all the info on it.
Bree and I know everything. Ask us anything.
Yeah, I've got notes.
It's June 5th at $449.99. There will be a pack-in bundle with Mario Kart, the brand new Mario Kart, for $499. Separately, Mario Kart, $80.
Yeah.
Why are games so expensive?
Yeah, all I've heard about the Nintendo Switch 2 is how outrageously expensive everything and anything related to the Nintendo Switch 2 is.
Like, I don't think $450 for the console is horrible.
No, I think it's great. I think
that's
it's
a
like
long-term investment, but $80 for a base game. This is getting ridiculous.
Yeah, and when they're doing variable pricing too, because I guess Donkey Kong isn't as much. But that's a huge
only
jump.
$70.
I think most people are, maybe the biggest thing is that people are just, Nintendo starts a lot of trends. Like people like to think that they're sort of third in line in a lot of ways, but everyone ends up copying what Nintendo does. It's happened to every single console except for like maybe the Wii U, but
yeah,
I think people are worried this basically gives, this is the blank check for other developers to like do that as well. People are talking about what GTA. They've been talking about it being $90 or $100. Like Rockstar's been talking about it, and this is kind of like a way to be like, well, Nintendo did it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's a whole lot of money. And I love Mario Kart, but it doesn't if you were to pick a game that would be that much, I don't feel like Mario Kart is the one to be that.
No,
but maybe
not
that's
at
just,
all.
maybe
Not
that's
to
just
me.
me. I mean,
Maybe
if it's
they're
an
doing
open world,
something different this time around.
if it's an open world Mario Kart, that sounds great. But none of the open world stuff I've seen has been interesting. I was kind of hoping that it would be like the that Lego Drive game. What was it called? It was so fun, and there's just
Lego
stuff
2K
to do
Drive.
everywhere. You go to drive to a race, but you get distracted by a million things, and everything I've seen in the open world of Mario Kart is nothing. So, I don't know. We'll see. They're just getting started with that, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
So what are we getting in the Switch 2? That's a big upgrade over the first one. Like what's
Well, we'll start off with the screen. It is a 7.9 inch LCD screen. They went from OLED back to LCD. It will be 1080p. I don't know. I think it's a step backwards on the screen.
It's 120 frames, which is pretty awesome. But
it's hard to say. Like the technologies are always improving, and I work in the tech world, so I mean, LCD probably found ways to improve a little bit more. Maybe get some better contrast out of it. I mean, obviously OLED, yes, you get the best contrast possible, but I don't know.
A lot of people think this is Nintendo's way to milk people.
Let them cook and see what they pop out.
Well, I mean, LCD is probably bringing costs down a little bit, but if the technology got a little bit better with it, then there's probably not a huge difference. But what else are we getting?
The controllers, the two new Joy-Cons connect. They snap in magnetically this time. The Joy-Con can be used as a mouse.
Interesting.
I mean, that was rumored anyway.
Yeah, that's wild.
Requires all new HDMI cable and all new USB-C and dock. Your current Switch hardware and accessories aren't going to work to hook it up to the TV. Needs a better HDMI cable, needs the newer dock, needs the new USB-C cable.
So really, it's a whole new platform.
Yes.
Yes. The dock will
And
have
you have to
4K
pay for
support and
everything.
cooling with a fan.
Ooh.
Yeah,
One thing
fancy.
I'll be curious about if it's magnetic mount stuff for the Joy-Cons, how well do they hang on? If you get some players that are really into the gaming, getting aggressive with stuff, moving around, is there any chance of them just coming off?
You supposedly have to press a button to release them.
Interesting. Huh.
Let's talk storage on this, because this is where I'm like losing a lot of interest. 256 gig. That's it.
Is that internal?
Internal, yes.
256 internal. It supports SD Micro Express cards only.
Never heard of it.
That's different from the ones used on the Switch.
Yeah, they're newer cards. They're high speed transfer cards. I looked on Amazon. They have two widely available right now. The biggest one is 256 for $60. So you're looking at
Probably
512 memory at max, unless you can find a high capacity. I saw 1 terabyte. It was not in stock. It cost $200.
Yeah, I think that, 256 will be there for a while. I didn't really think about that. I guess that is the max you could basically expand this to for the next
storage capacity is pathetic.
Well, I mean, we'll see how big the games are. I mean, I don't, if they're toting 4K and high res and stuff.
High res, like what's Cyberpunk gonna be? It's coming on a 64 gig cart.
Yeah, or like Elden Ring or any of those. Yeah.
What's NBA gonna come in at? Those clock in at like over 100 on Xbox. I know last year's NBA game on the Switch is like 50 something.
They really should make handheld consoles with some kind of an option dock to where you could shove an SSD into it. Just an off the shelf. Hey, I can buy an NVMe drive, pop it in here. I've got 2 terabytes. I've got 4 terabytes.
Yeah, I wonder if it would accept that over it has a second USB port.
My guess is there's a bottleneck with the USB speeds because you can't play PS5 or Series games off a USB drive.
Okay.
They have to be inserted into the console, either a SSD stick for the PS5 or an expansion card for the Xbox. And as of now, the only thing we could see on the Switch 2 are those micro SD express cards, which I'm not impressed. I think maximum 512 storage day one is really bad.
Well, as long as their future expansions are there for, we can support cards up to X amount size, and the manufacturers can actually create those things to be affordable, then cool. But yeah, I guess right
up to 2.
Yeah.
Which that,
I don't know, man.
If it was a 1 terabyte internal, I could get on board. But like the Series S has a 512 and that gets shit on all the time. They're going to put 256 in theirs? No. Come the fuck on.
And I can tell you, dude, from the manufacturing standpoint, because that's the world I work in. I work for an electronics company. We build this stuff. We populate the circuit boards with all these components, and it always, yes, it comes down to cost of the component. But if you can get a good deal on that stuff, it's like, yeah, we can throw 1 terabyte of storage directly on this board. It might bring the cost up a little bit, but that's probably more worth it.
I'm suspecting we'll see a Pro model with OLED screen in 1 terabyte in like a year or 2.
Oh, that's the tactic. Yes,
that's my guess.
I think you'll also see a lot of manufacturers getting on, expediting the 512 version of this and the 1 terabyte version of this card, because
I hope so.
There's actually a demand for it. I assume that video cameras and stuff might require the Express, but I don't know a lot about what devices require the Express. I'm sure there's a number of them, but I don't know what that would be. I assume something like video would need that.
Yeah.
But I checked it. Cyberpunk is about 70 gigs. I was wrong about Elden Ring. It's only 20, but Cyberpunk was a good guess. That's about 70. That's a chunk.
I mean,
isn't it funny?
CD Projekt confirmed it's coming on a 64 gig card, and it will be the full game. So CD Projekt, they're like one of the only ones who care about making sure the complete game is
cool.
there.
They said that. That's cool. They said that.
I know that they are going to have new game card, virtual game key card that is just going to be a license on a card with no data, and you still have to download it. Why wouldn't you
but they've been selling
digital at that point?
Well, they've been selling boxes with keys in them already. So this is just this is just replacing that. And at least with this, you could sell it. You know what I mean? You could sell the key card.
Keep the card into play.
Yeah,
so it's still just a physical game.
I guess I sell physical games, so I guess that was why I care, because I could turn it. You know what I mean? If I buy a key in a box, it does nothing. I just throw the box away. But with a key card, I could sell it if I wanted to. But I think it's a better solution than selling a piece of paper in a box, but still not ideal.
Speaking of games, let's talk about the games. The big one is Mario Kart World, obviously. Donkey Kong Bonanza was announced.
That shit looks so good.
It's coming out in July. Let's see.
Kirby Air Riders.
Yeah, Kirby Air Riders. They're going to have Switch 2 editions of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Super Mario Jamboree. I think a few others. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is going to have a Switch 2 version. Pokemon Legends ZA is getting a Switch version. They also have a Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour game, which is like an interactive tutorial on how to use the system. I don't know why this is a paid item.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're charging $450, just give people something to play when they take the system home. You know what I mean? That's
PlayStation has Astrobot's Playground. Like, why?
And it's awesome. It's like a.
That's amazing. That's like one of the best packing games ever.
Yeah.
So Joe, when I was visiting Alexander Brandon before he moved, another one of his developer friends was there, and I got to see that because I'd never heard of Astrobot, but they had it on that PlayStation, and I'm like, this is insane. Like, this came with this? Like, that was super cool to see.
Yeah, they need something to show off what the system can do. That
should be a pack
extra money. Yeah.
That should absolutely be a pack in. If it's like $20, maybe I can deal with it. But if they try charging like $50 for that thing, like 1-2 switch all over again.
So do you know what kind of like a processor upgrade that the Switch 2 has over the first one? Like, is it a pretty big jump?
I don't know what the internal specs are. Bri, do you know anything on that stuff?
They didn't really talk about any of that in the showcase today. They talked about some peripherals like the camera. They talked about the C button, which is for game chat. You're going to be able to do game chat with a built-in microphone. There's also going to be like you can use the camera in conjunction to do like video chat, things like that. Trying to find my notes on that.
I think they said that the dock is capable of 4K and 120 frames. But of course, it's going to come down to the games to utilize that. I'm already hearing like Cyberpunk is 30, Elden Ring is 30. Apparently, Tony Hawk 3 and 4 can make 60, but not always.
That's surprising.
From what I'm hearing, this is on par to a Series S, but more powerful, but comparable to the S.
I mean, the S doesn't do anything in 120, so I don't know.
Yeah. But I really like they need to come forth with more hard details on what's there. Like, I'm worried that people are going to get really excited about a lot of stuff, and it's just going to be like the current Switch where performance just isn't there for some of it. And I mean, like, people are losing their minds on the Dusk Bloods, new multiplayer title from Software, 8 players, PvPvE, looks insane. I just wonder how it's going to perform.
I just don't think there's a reason to get excited about anything from this other than for the Nintendo software. You know, like it does suck that game is only Switch, because that feels like robbery for a lot of people. It's a cool get, but you know, like Nintendo has always done the most with their hardware.
Yeah.
And some other companies do it justice too, but like, you know, you're getting this thing for Mario and Donkey Kong and Metroid and indies primarily, right? I mean, like, do you really want Cyberpunk? I mean, hasn't that been out and been made cheap for everything at this point? You know, I don't know. Not you specifically. You specifically, Joe. Will you buy Cyberpunk for the Switch?
I won't, because I have it already on Xbox.
Someone will, maybe.
Yeah, well, they're getting Final Fantasy VII Remake, and we still aren't getting that on Xbox.
Well,
that's interesting. That's interesting. I didn't realize that was the case.
The rumors I'm hearing is that 7 is still set for Xbox. They're just waiting for Square and Xbox to actually announce it. That's the rumor I'm hearing. I don't know what the fuck to believe at this point. But yeah, 7 Remake will be on the Switch too. Hades 2 is going to be on the Switch too. Madden NFL, EA Sports FC, NBA 2K, WWE 2K. So they're getting a lot of third-party stuff on there. Split Fiction and Elden Ring. I think we mentioned both of those.
Yeah. Street Fighter 6.
Yeah. Civilization 7, Hogwarts Legacy.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4.
Borderlands 4. Oh, Tony Hawk. Is that going to be on Game Pass?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Did you
sure.
hear anything about that?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. It's already preloaded on mine. Yep.
I heard about it.
Game Pass.
Some cool things that they showed off. Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment, a new Hyrule Warriors title. Those are always fun. And Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster will be on Switch 2 on launch day.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Let's see some other titles. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, Enter the Gungeon 2, Hit World of Assassination, and Fortnite are all confirmed. Some third-party titles, Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions. That's a multi-platform game. Demon X Machina, Titanic Scion. The first one was Switch exclusive. This one will be multi-platform. Deltarune was announced for it. Also going to be on PlayStation. Star Wars Outlaws is coming to the Switch too. The big one that everyone's talking about, Silk Song, confirmed once again for a 2025 release, allegedly.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the games, they have the game lineup. The pricing sucks. And it's probably going to go up with President Dickbag and his tariffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling that might be why it was maybe, let's just say that had not happened. Maybe this would be $50 cheaper. But I don't know. Here's the thing. I've just, I hacked my Switch to play Tears of the Kingdom because I wanted to overclock the GPU because that game just looks awful. It's so chunky. It needs to look like it does when you emulate it. Like, it's this gorgeous game with beautiful art direction. It doesn't make sense how that game even exists at all. And I've just always been so frustrated with the fidelity of Nintendo stuff. And this is the first time that we're actually going to be able to play, for example, Metroid Prime 4, which I've been so patient. I've actually been patient. I'm like, just sure. If you got to cancel it and start it over again, go right ahead. I just want it to be good. But I'm actually going to get to play this game 4K, or 120 frames or whatever I want. And that pleases me. So I'm going to pre-order one, but it's probably going to be a situation where I play select games and it just sits there in between those select games, right? Because there are other systems that are doing things better. I don't really care about the chat stuff. That's fine. But like, I don't know. I feel like Nintendo knows how to make games for their own system, and that's really the reason to pay attention to this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know what else we've got between PC and PS5 and Xbox Series X. It's like all these games are already available and in better form. So that doesn't really excite me. But man, Donkey Kong looks so good. There's so many tiny things flying around, which really did it for me in Astro Bot. Like thousands of jewels flying out. Particle porn, just looks so good. And it's Donkey Kong, and then Metroid, and then I don't know. I assume Mario Kart will be a good time, and then we'll probably get a Mario game.
Kart bad? Let's be honest.
That's a great question. I mean, you can make blue shell arguments all day long, but you're always going to be screaming with your friends when you play. It's still fucking fun. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And there's like you can carry double items again, and I don't know. So yeah, it's expensive. I feel like the system's pretty fair, but the games being so much is just kind of
that worries me. And the upgrades, I'm worried about how much all the paid upgrades are going to be. The Zelda ones are going to be included with your Nintendo Switch Online membership. Another new benefit to Nintendo Switch Online, only for Switch 2, is going to be GameCube games.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
3 of them at launch, and they're gonna, I'm sure, trickle them out one a month after that. Bri, do you have the list of games for Switch Online?
Zelda Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, F-Zero GX. Yeah, with Link. And then some of the titles that they hinted at in adding in the future. I saw Luigi's Mansion was one, so I was excited about that. But
I think Chibi Robo and Fire Emblem Path of Radiance are both on the list too. Which, those are expensive games.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see those coming back in a way.
We're talking about Mario Kart, but like, you're going to get to play Soul Calibur 2 high res online and F-Zero GX online with friends. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys want to guess without looking up when the last F-Zero game was released? Just guess. Don't look it up.
Are we talking? Are we counting the Switch mini game that they put out?
No.
Full on title.
GX for GameCube, I think.
No,
they had GBA games after that.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so out of the loop on
2006?
games.
2004.
All right.
Yeah, 21 years since the last F-Zero. What were you going to guess?
I was going to guess 05.
Oh, you Flik wins.
All right.
I'm so out of the loop on this, he says. No, I'm going to go.
Well, no, it's just, I mean, F-Zero sounds old to me. It's like, all I remember is, like Super Nintendo stuff or whatever?
Yeah.
Let's see here. F-Zero series, because you got the original, which is 1990 for Super NES. You got X, for the N64, Maximum Velocity for the GBA, and then there's GX and AX, which are, let's see here, that's
GameCube and Arcade.
GameCube. Yeah, it was Game Boy Advance. It was Climax was the last one for Advance.
Yep, GP Legend for Advanced, and Climax for the GBA.
They keep showing off Captain
then
Falcon.
99, which is the Switch thing, but
which is pretty awesome. I mean, I'll admit, but like that's not normal.
Quick email update. I just got an email from Sega. They have confirmed 5 games for the Switch 2. We already talked about Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. They're also going to be porting over 2 Point Museum, Sonic Shadow Generations, Rideout, The Mystery of the Soulless Army when that releases, and Puyo Tetris 2S.
Yeah.
Is that new? Puyo Tetris
2 S's.
Okay.
There's Puyo Tetris 2 came out a couple of years ago, but 2S is
okay. Gotcha.
New for the S2.
Man, that game is good. Puyo Tetris is so good.
I apologize. This has been mentioned, but isn't there like a big hubbub about FromSoft being?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Or are we not? Or is that a bullet note that we haven't gotten to yet?
We kind of mentioned the Duskbloods game.
Yeah.
What's the hubbub?
Sony's letting go of their balls so they can do stuff with Switch.
Sony doesn't own
Sony?
From.
Yeah, but you know how they're dicks about things.
Yeah,
Wait,
Sony doesn't own From Software, so
I'm not saying they
is
do.
Free to do whatever. It's just surprising to see them do a Switch exclusive instead of like Bloodborne or Demon Souls that have been PlayStation exclusives.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. That's some flex that's Nintendo throwing some money. That's like that'll be a big deal next year when that comes out.
I mean, I could see for like the perspective from FromSoft. It's like, shit. Okay, if Nintendo's willing to do this, let's give it a shot and see how it plays.
Yeah.
Don't know until you try.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, what does everyone think on the Switch 2? Or are you going to pre-order it? You going to buy it? You going to wait on it? What are your thoughts?
Oh, definitely wait. I'm too broke to fucking buy it day one.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've gotten to the day and age where it's better to let it hit the market and just kind of see where the wind falls.
Yeah. Hockey, you going to buy one?
No.
What about all the
Hockey,
Switch City games you want?
The only game there I really want is the one that they should have brought to Xbox fucking years ago, and I don't believe will ever come. Final Fantasy VII Remake. And you knew that was going to be the answer. I just want to give money to the Final Fantasy people.
Yes.
And they keep fucking me over, and it's pissing me off so much.
Yeah, it is frustrating. Saga 2 remastered has me annoyed. That's on everything, even mobile, and they can't put it on Xbox.
Oh, shit.
Bummer. Flik, you gonna pick up a Switch too?
My problem with gaming is that I like the idea of gaming, but I'm terrible at actually dedicating the time to it. I picked up the Switch that I have, I think when I was on a MagFest road trip. Like, I kid you not. Like, I think Sean and I stopped somewhere and I was like, oh, I'll pick this up. And honestly, I've barely touched it. I did play, God, I don't know, whichever first Zelda game on it. God, I'm an idiot. I played that for a little bit.
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I played that. I had a good number of hours into it, but that's kind of where it died off for me. It's like when I bought my PS4 Pro. I was like, oh, wow, I'm going to buy this. It's going to get me back into gaming. And I guess I don't have the attention span for it like I used to. So, I mean, I always like the idea of these new consoles and amazing new games, but if I can't get myself to really be a gamer, it's like, what's the point? It would have to be some incredible draw to it. Like, there's been very few games that have truly sucked me in to where I'm like, I can't stop playing. I just can't stop. So it would have to be something like that would get me to buy a new console, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like you got, if you have a Switch, you haven't touched it, there are just dozens and dozens of unbelievable games on that thing. You could essentially just, pick and, grab stuff on sale and enjoy yourself thoroughly. Like you've never played Super Mario Odyssey. It'll blow your mind one day, but you don't need a new console to do that. You've already got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was going to say, that's another thing that gets me about a lot of new consoles, where I feel like there's a lot of repeat games that have existed and then re-exist and re-exist. And I'm not going to poo-poo on like Final Fantasy stuff, but it's interesting seeing something like Final Fantasy VII get remade how many times, I guess. And it's great that people still love it, but I don't know, I guess it's interesting to see the same thing go through a number of iterations.
I don't have a problem with the Final Fantasy remake because it actually is a full-on remake that changes things. And this new trilogy is just going to be a whole different kind of animal compared to the original. And before that, we just had a straight port remaster that was just slightly up-res textures, and that's it.
Like if it's a retelling of a story in a different way, I'm all for that. But yeah, if
that's
it's
what
just
the 7 trilogy pretty much is, yeah.
Okay, so that's definitely cool then. But yeah, if you're just upgrading some graphics or something and slapping a new label on it, not my thing.
That's what the Switch 2 upgrades are for.
So what about the rest of you? Are you guys buying one?
No.
Nope.
So what's that?
Are you buying one?
Fuck.
You pre-order one? Fuck no. But you, Aki?
I already answered that. Hell no.
Hell no. What about you, Joe?
I
Joe's
did
buying one.
register my intent to pre-order through Nintendo. I don't know if I'll get selected for it or not. I do appreciate that they're like cracking down. Like you have to have a Nintendo Online membership. You have to have so many hours put into it, which might disqualify me because I don't have a lot of time in my Switch over the past few years.
You don't have 50 hours total in your Switch?
Over the past year? Probably not.
I don't think it's in the past year. I think you have to have the 12 months of, you have to have at least 12 months of Nintendo Online. Bri probably has this info. 12 months of Nintendo Online and 50 hours of total game time, which means you have to be sharing your data with Nintendo so they know.
Yeah.
I qualify, but I'm going to try to buy it from a retailer beforehand because there's no guarantee. That said, I am going to get one because I will play Metroid Prime 4 in a dark room in the best possible. I just updated my Metroid tattoo. This is my bloodstream, right? This is like,
yeah, you absolutely should
install like a 9.2 surround sound.
Yes. I need my finally upgrade to my Atmos 5.0 or whatever, and like I'm diving in. Claire, don't come home for a day. I'm playing Metroid. But no, so knowing well and good that I'll probably play one game every 6 months on this thing. But Donkey Kong looks like everything that I like about video games, so I'll at least have a couple good games to kick off the release. So
Grant, I was going to say I could imagine you just renting out a movie theater for the whole Dolby Atmos system, sitting in the center of the room alone with your Switch.
Dude, that is a fantastic idea. I have a feeling the latency between my controller, what are we talking about? 250 milliseconds of latency between my controller and the screen between all the nonsense.
Some
So you
projectors
still
are pretty good.
I don't know about a theater though.
I'm thinking you still use just the screen on the console. You're just exporting the audio to the entire big audio system. So you're just alone in this huge room.
So gotcha. So I use the audio and then I need a gigantic monitor and a giant battery bank sitting next to me, and then I play through the whole game.
You're allowed an extension cord,
Yeah, that will be required, I think, with this battery life. So cool.
I'm up in the air on it. If I could get a pre-order, I might do it, but I'm not sold yet.
Cool. Yeah, if you need more game time on your Switch, Joe, just compile a list of games and that I can binge next time I come to visit.
I mean, there's a lot on there. I don't know. Maybe I'll consider selling my Switch and just upgrade to a Switch 2 and re-download all my fucking games, or at least however many I could fit on a 256 storage.
I am doing that.
I'm sure
It's
they'll
all
have a storage
backwards
expansion
compatible,
for an
right?
exorbitant amount of money.
I mean, if you've only spent like 50 hours or less in the past year, like, why even bother then?
Yeah.
Like,
New
I
and
don't know.
shiny.
Unless
Yeah,
you're kind of
but-
like me, where you keep thinking that, oh, the shiny new thing will be great. You know?
Yeah.
This will get me back into gaming.
Yep.
Why did I buy a PS5 again? The intent
Because
to
it's
play
pretty.
it doesn't
Because
mean it
it made for a
happens, but the
great-
intent is there.
It made for a great paperweight. That's why.
Like, I'll still, if I get the Switch 2, I'm sure I'm still going to fire it up and play it. But the current
Once every
Switch
few
just
months?
doesn't have anything that I really want to play on it. I would rather play on Xbox right now.
Yeah. I will say I'm going to sell my Switch. I have a Gen 1 hackable one, which is goes for a decent amount on eBay because it's hackable before the hardware revision. So I'll pack up my MOBA Joy-Cons and my case and my accessory crap, and that'll shave a little bit off the cost of the Switch too. That'll make it. That'll make
so
it somewhat of a
early
difference.
models are more expensive?
Yeah, the early models like Gen 1 are the unpatched, the unhardware patched versions of the Switch. I can't remember what they're called. There's a name for them, but like those are the hackable ones. The second model of Switch, which was not too long after the first year or so, was patched in a way so you could no longer use a hardware piece to hack the Switch to install to hack it. And my version is hackable. My system's hackable, and I have no Joy-Con drift and a perfect screen. So I'll get something for it.
Send me
Okay,
some
Grant,
info on
so-
that, because mine's a day one. Like, if I could
Yeah,
get
you
a
probably-
few
yours is-
extra bucks for it, that'd be nice.
Yeah, yours is probably hackable too if it's day one. So
So I'm looking at mine, Grant. It's I think it says model HAC-001
I'm gonna look this up for you.
because this thing's like barely used.
All right, what's your number?
Well, it says mod HAC-001. I'm assuming that's the model number.
Shrug.
It's all based on serial number, but
Mm.
yes, it likely is, but it's based on serial number.
Well, I can tell you the battery's dead in this thing right now, so I can't boot it up to tell you.
Yeah.
Unless the serial is on the back. I don't know.
Oh, man. Was there anything anyone else wanted to mention about the Switch 2? Because I have just a few other little bits of news. And then we can move on to reviews for the night.
How many wet pancakes can you stack on the Switch 2?
That's a great question. How big are the pancakes? Like, what's diameter?
And are they wet pancakes?
Well, no, they're definitely wet. Wet goes without saying.
Okay, good.
What is
But if you get like a standard size pancake, nice and wet.
how much weight can a Switch 2 withstand?
Oh, so the Switch has to survive?
Well, the details. I mean, honestly, you can fill that in yourself. I was just saying, like, how many wet pancakes could you probably stack on a Switch before it tipped and or made a mess?
449. I don't know.
449 wet pancakes.
Or better yet, how many wet pancakes could you stack on there before the wetness caused irreparable damage to the Switch 2?
This is a viral video for you to put together, Joe. Whenever it comes out.
Joe, this is the reason for you to come to VGM Con 2026. You're going to come with a Switch 2, and we are going to live on stream start stacking pancakes.
Yeah, pancakes.
With it on, playing a game.
All
It's
right,
like,
I
when
guess
does it
we're
die?
doing I guess we're doing it. All right.
I'll sponsor it.
Anyway, some other news. We got a couple other news bits. Game Pass first wave of April has been announced. Decent lineup of games coming to the service just this week. Today, we got Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition, which includes all the DLC.
Nice.
Meh.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to play 3 hours of that and move on.
Next week on the 8th, Diablo 3 Reaper Souls and South of Midnight.
Yeah.
That I'm interested. Yeah, I'm interested in that one.
I'm excited for that one too. April 9th is Commando's Origins, and April 10th is Blueprints.
Blueprints looks rad.
Yeah,
It
that
does.
looks interesting.
And then April 15th is getting Hunt Showdown 1896. and the return of Grand Theft Auto 5 to Game Pass Ultimate and Game Pass PC.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, did it go away?
Gone away
GTA comes
twice
and goes.
Oh,
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, it
Weird.
rotates in. It'll probably be there for like 3 months and then leave.
That's weird.
Yeah. It jumps between Game Pass and PlayStation Plus.
Interesting.
Yeah. Can't all be good news. A couple of games are leaving Game Pass on the 15th. Botany Manor, Coral Island, Harold Halibut, Homestead Arcana, Kona, Orcs Must Die 3, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Turbo Golf Racing. All going away April 15th.
That's some good games.
Yep.
Yep. So play them while you can or buy them with the discount.
I really liked Botany Manor. I think, Bree, did you review that one?
I loved that game. It ended
Yeah.
up being one of my top games of the year.
Yeah, I played that because of your review. I think it was very good.
Yeah, it was a fun game.
I don't think I checked
Play
that
that
one out
one.
yet.
It's neat.
I should. Monster Hunter Wild sold 10 million copies in the
Hell
first
yeah.
month.
Does not surprise me.
Man,
Yeah.
crazy.
I saw a lot of people going crazy about that on Blue Sky and other places. Just apparently a very, very good game.
Yeah, I
seem to
I
like it.
remember noodling with the beta test, and I found it to be very enjoyable.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of good games early this year so far between Monster Hunter, Kingdom Come, Avowed, Yakuza Like a Pirate.
Split Fiction.
Yeah, Split Fiction was great. Some sad news. Eidos Montreal laid off 75 employees.
But
Mm.
I've been there in layoff land, man. I've watched a bunch of people disappear from my company, and just it's disheartening, but it is what it
Yeah.
is, I guess.
Carnage
Yeah,
is
they
saying
made
Split
Guardian-
Fiction is his game of the year so far.
It fucking rules. Not done with it yet. My brother and I are taking our time with it, but it's so good.
Nice.
I know Montreal made Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a bummer. That game is amazing. Oh well.
Yeah, that one kind of flopped because of the Avengers flopping. No one gave
Yeah.
Guardians a shot.
Yeah.
Oh, Aki, do you have any news? Or did Aki step away?
Aki
Aki
said
has
something
fallen
about her microphone because of like Big Thunder.
Oh,
Big
Controls her microphone.
I was gonna say Big Thunder. Is
What
that
else
in
don't they
regards
have a
to
hand
her?
Dude, I want to hear some thunderclaps. come
Oh, is
through
your
that mic.
were you going to say the Baileys?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Are you sure the Big Thunder isn't in a reference to her spoiled Baileys?
It's my microphone.
'Cause I'm sure
quote,
we've all
unquote.
had that Big Thunder once in a blue moon.
Mm.
You ever drink Bailey's from a shoe?
Oh my.
Maybe.
Aki's playing booty roulette with Bailey's. Bree, any news?
I do have some news. Black Desert Online is shutting down on Xbox on June 26th, but they are providing a free Series X version to current owners of the game that will be persisting.
Yeah, I think they're coming out with a
good
new
move.
game, and they're
Yeah.
reallocating resources towards it.
Essentially.
Yeah.
The ZeniMax Workers United Union, which represents over 300 workers, is still in contract negotiations with Microsoft after 2 years. They have voted to authorize a strike. No strike is happening yet, but one could happen soon.
Hmm.
Amazon
Interesting.
has flags that warn customers when items are frequently returned, and newly added to that list is the Xbox Elite Controller Series 2.
Oh,
Yeah, I've heard bad things about that thing for the last forever. I considered one, and it found a lot of flack.
I love
too bad.
mine. Like, I won't
Really?
use
That's
a
good.
non-elite. Like,
Okay.
the Elite one had issues with like the rubber peeling. I know the Elite 2 has similar issues, so if you're going to get one, get a replacement plan. Don't buy it anywhere that doesn't sell a replacement plan. But I love the controller too much to not use it.
Cool.
Totally, I agree 100%. What are we talking about again?
Microphone.
Oh,
Hey, it's Anaki.
Yeah.
Hi.
Meanwhile,
Oh.
Sony has patented a solar charged DualSense controller.
What?
That was a thing that came across my feed, unless that was an April Fool's thing. But
Wow.
yeah, They patented a solar charged DualSense controller.
I have a keyboard that is solar powered, and it just gets ambient light. It doesn't get direct light, and it's plenty. Battery never runs out. So maybe that's a doable thing. I doubt Rumble would exist in it though. That seems that seems non-intuitive because that's like PS5's big thing, and it's Sony's controller. Anyway, interesting. I'm just gonna ramble because I'm on my third birthday pint exactly.
Nice.
So I'm just gonna comment on everything. So continue.
Good. Split Fiction's launch broke 3 world records, including that it had the biggest launch weekend and week of any local co-op game, as well as being the most played on Steam.
Hell yeah,
Very
that's
nice.
fucking awesome.
Crazy.
I just finished their first game with the dudes in prison.
Yeah,
that was really fun.
Way Out. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to play the next one.
It takes
Did
two.
you play?
I am so excited. Yes,
play
I've played Brothers.
Okay, yeah. Just curious.
I've played both of versions of it, the new and the old.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Their games are good.
Another game shutting down. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, you know what type of game I would love to see a new one of? Mainly because I'm kind of more of a PC junkie, I guess, with games. I'd love to see a new Thief. That's what I want to see. That was one of those games that always pulled me in.
I might be in the minority, but I really liked the last one that was made, but apparently it was really hated, and I don't know why.
I talked with some people that knew some stuff with development because I commented on some issues where I'm like, there's some weird audio bugs in this game. And the person that had some knowledge went, yeah, about that.
Well, that's...
But, it was still great. I still loved it.
That's IDOS Montreal. So if you go buy a bunch of copies now, maybe they can rehire those 70 people.
Yeah.
Or I will hire them to make a new game just for me.
Make it Thief for me. I like it.
What else you got, Bri?
Shutting down War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. A tactical RPG gacha game will be completely shut down this May.
Oh, the sadness. A gacha game is going the way of the dodo. Oh, woe is me. The pain, the suffering.
Mm-hmm. And my last bit of news is Movie Watch.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You're stealing from Jacob again. Oh, my.
I actually have no news,
God.
so this
It's
is
Movie
welcome.
Watch. There.
I just went looking for that.
God. I forgot.
You like
I
hearing
made
that, Grant?
I forgot I made it. I was remembering it as I was remembering it as I heard it. Okay.
This is like a
Wow. I was all
flashback
drunk.
when you heard it.
Whoa. I was drunk then too.
So yeah, Exit 8, the observation anomaly game, is getting a movie at the end of August.
No way.
Seriously?
Weird.
The trailer looked really interesting.
Of all the
haven't
games you can
played
adapt,
Exit
they
8
chose that.
yet. Yeah, apparently. So
Wait, isn't
now I want to play the
Exit-
game.
Isn't Exit 8 the one where you just walk down a corridor and
Yes.
dictate?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
What
walk
is that getting a
backwards.
movie for?
I'm watching a
I
trailer
understand
for it
my
right
response.
now. It's exactly what you think it is.
Yeah.
I do love that Bri's trying to get the story out and everyone keeps interrupting her.
Oh, no, you're fine. I've said everything I need to say.
Yeah.
That sounds
Well,
fucking
the problem is-
horrific.
The problem is that we kind of live in an age where when you hear that something's getting an adaptation, like your immediate thoughts go to, how are they going to royally fuck this up?
Yeah. There is one thing I have for this. There is so little there in the game that this could be either an amazing clusterfuck, like all the old video game movies were, or it could be a masterpiece of a fuck up, which would be hilarious, kind of like the old Super Mario movie was. I love that stupid piece of shit movie.
That was a terrible movie, but like hearing about all the shit that went on behind the scenes and why it ended up becoming a stupid movie is as entertaining as the movie itself.
Oh, do they have that somewhere on YouTube or anything? Because I want to hear about that.
Like, long story short, both Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo have stated in multiple interviews that like they would get shit-faced drunk just to make it through the day of filming.
Oh, thank God.
Nice.
You know,
Well, yeah,
like
that's
Super Mario Bros.
That's
is
why he
like
broke his arm.
Yeah.
Because they were fucking around on a golf cart and they tipped it over.
and that's also like one of the movies that pretty much like nailed the coffin shut on Bob Hoskins retiring from acting, because the directors were such a nightmare to work with. It was just an absolutely horrible experience all around.
Jeez. I still
Plumber
think
alert.
DOA Dead or Alive is one of the best video game movies that sucks.
Absolutely. No, it doesn't suck. It's
No,
amazing.
it sucks, but it's amazing. It's not a good
I
movie.
mean, it
at all,
falls
but
it falls
so
into
fun.
the it's so bad it's good. You know, like
Yeah.
The fucking Room.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, the thing
so
that I'm
much.
worried about, the thing I'm worried about is that like like, for example, the fucking movie that Bri announced. Like, I'm not worried that it's going to be so bad it's good. I'm worried that it's going to be forgettably bad. Like, so like unaggressively middling that like after a month or two is like, hey, what about that Who's He Was He movie? What? Oh, that existed? Yeah, okay, I think I remember that.
So direct to DVD style kind of stuff. It's like, I never heard of that. Huh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
William, what would you say about a movie like that?
Eat my dick for breakfast.
Thank you.
Oh, interesting.
I'm sure
I
you could
would
actually make a
watch
better
that.
movie about that.
Good stuff. Any other news?
That was the end of my news.
Jacob, anything?
No, I already said I don't have any news.
Nothing.
I already
Wasn't there
said I
Disney
don't
Dreamlight
have
news you wanted to talk about?
No.
Could have sworn there was some Disney Dreamlight you were freaking out about this week.
Oh no! Last night I finally got the Bermuda Merlin outfit. Every single time it's ever been available for sale, I've always been too broke and not able to afford the moonstones for it. And finally, this time I had it, and it popped up last night, and I was just like, "Fuck yes!" And yeah, I now have it, so I was very happy.
You guys are a bunch of ball bags.
I am.
But happy ball bags.
I'm in danger.
All right. Flik, any news you want to talk about? Anything?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't really pay attention to a whole lot of stuff in the game world these days. So never really much. I have the things that I'd like to see, but maybe one day it'll come to fruition. I don't know. Yeah, nothing really game related for news for me.
Cool. Ian, anything?
I heard Grant was getting old.
Grant, confirm, deny?
30. He's
Confirm.
30.
Confirm. 30
You're a
years
boomer now,
old.
buddy.
Boomer.
Welcome to the next age bracket.
Booming with the best of them.
Man,
Grant,
that means
any
Grant's
news
younger
you
than
want
me.
to talk about?
Me?
Yeah.
No. Just Cause 3 is still a good game. That's the only news I have.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, we got to dive into reviews. Flik, I don't know if you want to stick around or not. We're just going to be reviewing games from here on out.
I'll probably dive out because I'm probably going to dive out because I'm going to attempt to make a little more VGM Con prep before I inevitably pass out tired and go to work in the morning.
Very good. Well, Flik, thank you for joining us, hanging out with us, keeping us company. Love talking to you. Have some drinks next week in my honor.
Oh, I absolutely will. And
Oh yes.
I'm sure we'll send you some very not lewd selfies and things like that.
You better send me a lot of pictures. You guys better just text me constantly stupid pictures.
I got your digits, baby.
Sweet. Flik, have a good one. Do you have any final words?
I guess final words are for all those going to VGM Con, you're going to have a great time. For those that have thought about VGM Con and haven't gone yet, consider going. You will have a wonderful time. It's a great place, and it's good times. And for that, I'm going to disappear into the ether to do the things that makes the VGM Cons happen. I'm disappearing.
Nice to meet you.
Have a good night, everybody. I'm getting further away from the microphone. Bye.
Later. I'm pretty sure Flik thinks I'm actually 30, and I'm going to see how long I can get this. I can run this.
You're 25, right?
Yeah, no, well, we'll stick with 30 because it's believable to certain. Yep, 30. So we'll see if I can.
You're
keep
younger than me, aren't you?
I don't think so.
I just hit 44 last month.
46.
Damn.
Yeah, you ain't got to damn me. You could be like, that's a laudable age.
No, the damn was like, I thought I was older than you. I really did.
No, I think I'm older than everyone except
you
for
seem
Chunk.
like a punk fucking kid, you little bitch.
I'm a punk fucking 30-year-old. I will. What do 30-year-olds do? I will Gen Z.
I will make an avocado sandwich.
30-year-olds do work.
Work. Wow.
True. All right, should we dive into reviews? We got a bunch to talk about tonight.
Let's do it.
All right. No marathon reviews tonight. Please keep them under 10 minutes.
Hell yeah.
First game to talk about, Tunguska, The Visitation, developed and published by Rotorist Workshop, released March 28th on Xbox One, Series X and S for $39.99. Seek fortune as a ghoul hunter in an abandoned Soviet exclusion zone. Use your grit and ingenuity to survive deadly radiation, mysterious anomalies, and poisonous mutants. Go in guns blazing or stay in the shadows. Your choice. Aki, what is Tunguska?
Okay. Tell me if this name sounds familiar, Stalker. That game sound familiar? Yeah, that's what this is. Just outright.
No, this is isometric.
It's Stalker. In this, there is one major difference. The areas seem to be a bit smaller, which means you're loading more areas, but they load pretty quickly, which is nice. But you choose what kind of character you are to start with. For instance, there's a cop, a military person, journalist, etc., etc. You can also pick what gender and race you are to a lesser degree. I think there's 3 for each sex, and that's it. And that actually changes what you're there for. Like, for instance, I chose the journalist because being that allowed me to more quickly get skill points and the like. So I figured, hey, I get that. I can max out my character more easily. Because that's what I do. And so my character is actually going over there for a story on the place. And is obviously going to get embroiled in the area like everyone else does. So whatever you choose, that's going to be different, which was kind of interesting to me. You can also make some choices in the game because sometimes there's some text-based stuff in there, and sometimes there's an option of, do you just want to get through this quickly? Here, you can pay this or give this object or whatever to these people, and you're just free to go. Or you can go about this the hard way and fuck all their shit up and then go. Obviously, you should always choose fuck up their shit, then go, because then you get more crap. Basically, everything you can steal off their corpses. It's great. Other than that, it really does end up feeling a lot like Stalker outside of that. You still got your radioactive monstery things that you can kill. You got people that are there that are fighting. You got anomalies that show up and can hurt you. I supposedly saw one because the game brought up a tooltip telling me about it, but I have no idea where it was. I did not see it. But yeah, it very much just feels like one of the old school Stalker games, honestly. From toe to ass, it's just Stalker. I found that it doesn't control all that well on on what I was playing because it doesn't work with the controller very well. It's very finicky. They want to use like the 12 buttons you have access to with a controller, but they need like enough room for like 30 fucking buttons. So many of these buttons are like push this and then this. Oh, and if you push this and then this, it does something else. And if you just push this, and it's like that ends up becoming just a bit too much shit to have to keep a track of.
The good news is, I should have had you look into this if you could. Supports console, keyboard, and mouse.
Oh.
So you can hook up a mouse and keyboard and play that way on this one. That's a pretty cool addition.
That would probably work better for this, because this seems to be very much made much more for a mouse and keyboard, honestly. Because I found, after playing it for a little while one day, I went to try to go to the menu to save my game. I couldn't figure out how to get to the fucking menu. It took me like 20 minutes going through the different button presses, because I was like, I know it's one of these buttons is held and you push a different button, but I don't remember what button I hold and what button I push. Because there's like 2 or 3 different buttons that you can hold and push multiple of the other buttons on the controller to get to different menus. And I was like, oh, this sucks because of this right here. They need to streamline it a bit more, i.e. take out a bunch of shit and just make it like once you're in the menu, you can tab over or something. Like they do in the Stalker games, for instance.
Well, this isn't Stalker. You got to stop saying it like it. This is a single person dev, to my knowledge. Like, to my knowledge, this is just one dude who made this game. It released on PC in 2021 and finally made its way to Xbox now. I find it hard to compare a solo or small team dev made game to a huge production like Stalker. I feel like you're kind of being unfair to the game.
Well, considering I didn't even look into how many people were in it, I'm talking about feel, look, and design. I think I'm being very fair because they're set doing the exact same things and everything. So, yeah, one person dev. This is very impressive work. I think it still needs a little bit more work, though, because they want to do a bit too much. And you just can't do that with a controller. You need it to be much more simplified than what they have it. Because when you're trying to remember, this button and these like 6 buttons, and then this button and these 6 buttons, and this button and these 6 buttons, and then on top of that, all the other. But that's way too much. But otherwise, it plays pretty well beyond, really having to focus on that. There are some oddities to doing things like moving the camera around, especially during combat. That's a little finicky because it likes to kind of it lags for one behind, and it likes to go at specific areas instead of like, you can't just make it do a complete circle around you. It doesn't like to do things like that, which can make it kind of hard to see the enemies if they're like behind a tree or something and you're trying to get a hold of them on the camera. It can make it a little finicky, but otherwise it plays really well. And one of the best things that I like about this that honestly is done better than Stalker even, they have stealth capabilities in this game, and you like even stealth knockouts and stuff. You very quickly can get a hold of a rope to strangle a bitch while behind them and render them unconscious. And that is, for me, because I'm a big stealth player, that is the best fucking feeling right there. I haven't had much of a chance to use it because I've been mostly fighting beasties, but still, I really enjoy that because that feels better than the melee combat that they have. I don't particularly care for it that much, just because the enemy AI moves around a lot and that makes it very hard to hit them because the controls are a little clunkier. But yeah, it's pretty good, especially if it's just by one dev. This is really good.
All right, well, let's talk price on this. It is a $39.99 game. People might notice it is a $15 game on Steam, but it also includes all of the DLC from Steam, as this is a complete edition. So you're getting all that extra content with it, plus the port job. And of course, those delicious Xbox achievements. $40. What is your verdict on Tunguska?
I think if you like the Stalker games, you're definitely going to like this. If you don't like the Stalker games, I'm not sure this is going to be for you, because this is a lot of text-based stuff, and then fairly similar to Stalker style, the old Stalker game style combat. So if you're not into that, this probably isn't for you, but everyone else, totally worth buying. It's really good.
Cool. I got this one on my wish list. I'm interested in giving this one a go in the future. Next
one
game.
more thing.
Oh.
It's also easier than Stalker, so maybe give it a try. If you're like, Stalker was too hard, give this a try. This could be like a good first step into getting the Stalker.
Nice. All right, next up, Pinball FX VR. Oh, wait. We got a button for this.
Oh yes. all my cues are getting played tonight. That's
Damn
nice.
right. Pinball FX.
God damn it!
Pinball FX VR, developed and polished by Zen Studios, released April 3rd on MetaQuest for $9.99 with 3 tables included. More available via DLC. Pinball FX VR brings the iconic franchise library to life with the ultimate 80s arcade atmosphere, now fully immersive in virtual reality. Dive into a fully customizable and interactive setting with the integrated mixed reality mode and transform your living room or your bathroom into a personal arcade paradise with pinball cabinets and unlockable decorations for the perfect retro touch. Grant, tell us about your time setting up pinball tables in your house with your kitty cat.
Bathroom. I did, in fact, send a video of a pinball machine sitting in my bathroom today to the Discord. So, so Pinball FX VR is not Zen's first foray into VR. They did Pinball FX2 VR a few years ago, but it was a good first go. But the headsets weren't quite as good. It didn't quite have the immersion, and there was a lot of what I found to be flipper lag. So you hit a button and you're just not feeling like things are snappy enough. And as you know, like things need to be as close to instant as possible when you're playing pinball. But yeah, this is their new platform. This is Zen taking Pinball FX into VR. You boot the game and you start in your arcade. You just start walking around your arcade. There are some good tutorials to get you going, a lot of wandering around. I walked over to the little mini bar. I proceeded to knock over all the soda cans on the mini bar, so you can't interact with the environment, which is great. There's a little tape machine there, which I guess means you can put tapes in it. I decided to leave that and come back later. I customized my arcade. You can change the carpet, the walls, the neon color. You can play darts. There was this giant spinning wheel, and you could spin that you use coins you get from playing games. So you get stars and you use them on this wheel. I unlocked a cassette, so I took it and put it in the tape player and hit play. And I think it was music from one of the Pinball M games, which I think is a nice tease maybe for things to come. So yeah, you walk around this multi-room arcade. All of the machines available are there. There are 11 games at launch. 3 of them come with the base game. The base game's $10. You get 3 original tables from Zen. And the way it works is you walk up to a machine, you reach in your pocket in VR, you pull out a coin, you put it in the machine, it boots up, you hit start, and you can literally grab the plunger and pull it back, which is I will say, of all the things in this game to experience, the idea of having an analog plunger to hit skill shots is incredible. If you've played digital pinball before, it's either hold down A for a certain amount of time and try to watch the lights light up, or you just hit a button to launch a ball. I could actually line up with lines on the shooter lane and then let go and hit my skill shot on Addams Family almost every time, which felt really, really cool. So 3 games base. You've got some Williams tables available. Those range anywhere from $9 to like $15 depending on the game. They've got Indiana Jones. They've got Twilight Zone. There's also an NBC Universal pack, which has the Battlestar, Xena, and Knight Rider tables. I think I reviewed those last year. So there are a good number of games. $10 gets you in the door. with 3 games, which is certainly enough to spend time with. They've really, really worked on replayability. So you can just play the games for points, but there's now a sort of a campaign mode where you go and sort of complete challenges to everything from points challenges, speed challenges, all kinds of different things to try and get points. And there are leaderboards for every single challenge on every single table. You can earn trophies. You put the trophies on the shelves in the virtual world. You decorate your room. You get more as you complete missions. And the experience is pretty incredible. Being able to put your head down and look at the details of the table, it's very immersive, especially from someone who loves pinball as much as myself. The flipper lag is no more. Everything feels really snappy. There's a good maybe 20 milliseconds of lag. Like, it's just enough that you can tell you're playing a video game, but it's not bad. Then there's the mixed reality mode. Okay, so they have a full MR mode where you basically can scan the room with your quest. This is a quest game. And then it scans your room. You can drop tables into your room. You can put statues in your room. You can set trophies on shelves. You can basically, after you scan a room, create a pinball arcade. And then when you leave your arcade, you take the headset off. You put it back on. All the tables are where you left them. You can put posters on the wall. It's kind of insane. It was a little buggy. I will say that, like, I've seen this in some videos today. Several times, like, you'd leave and come back, and posters would be slightly offset or turned weird. So I think there's some bugs to work out. This is their first, like, mixed reality game, so I'm not surprised. But the idea of being able to just strap on a headset and all of a sudden you have all these amazing pinball tables around you it's a pretty good sell. I had a bit of a time setting up the tables. My hallway was too narrow, so I found another small room where I could smash like 3 tables against a wall, one in the bathroom, sticking out of the bathroom, and that was as much as I could fit. But it was still very cool. Good first go. I will also say it's the first time that I've actually done what you see in videos where if you play in VR, you'll see guys playing pool where they try to lean on the table and almost fall down. I did almost fall down. I wanted to lean over the table to look at a shot, and I did almost bust my ass and break my quest. So
that's fantastic.
I guess that's immersion. I don't know. One thing I will also say is there's this arcade stick called the Arcade 2 TV, which is this stand-up arcade stick that has side buttons that is built to work with this particular game. So it doesn't really work with the mixed reality part, but if you're just going to play in the arcade of the game, you can start a game, set your quest controllers in these holes that are on the controller, and it lines up this giant arcade stick exactly with the position of the machine. So you can actually lean on the machine and hit pinball flippers to play the game. I haven't tried that. They had it at GDC, but the line was very long. But for as expensive as pinball is, this is as close as you can definitely get without having a machine in your house. I'm very impressed. I think it does have some issues, and there's some things that I would like to see. I would love to get 3D sound. I would love to be able to turn my head away from the machine and hear the sound coming from the machine instead of it always just being stereo. That? No, but I feel like this is the kind of thing that will get better. But at the moment, no. There was an issue with the plunger. Well, sometimes it would take a few pulls to register the line. Like all the machines make noise constantly. So let's say you put all 11 machines in your living room, it's going to sound like hell. Because the way it normally works with pinball is they randomly make sounds. They call it an attract mode, right? So they just randomly make fart noises to get you to go play them. They're not always all playing music at the same time. It'd be nice to bring the music from the virtual world into the mixed reality version. Things like that, I think, would be better. I also really want some Pinball M tables in here. I have imagined they would need a new platform, a new game release, a new SKU for that, because as you know, they made Pinball M because Pinball FX is rated E for everyone, and Pinball M it's all mature content. So maybe we'll get there. But overall, very impressed. For $10 for entry, $3 a table. If you like VR and you like pinball, I call it a no-brainer. Beyond that, it's like $10 a table for Williams tables. You're gonna have to pick the ones that you really love. So I think that
I'm not seeing many tables available right now. There's 4 Williams tables, Indiana Jones, and then the Universal TV Classics pack for $15.
Yes, and then there's the 3 that come with it. There's 11 total. which is a pretty good number to start with, especially because they craft each one of these for the VR environment. So when you're playing Battlestar Galactica, you're surrounded by spaceships, there's lasers. You know, Indy literally stands next to you and cracks the whip at you when you mess up, when you play Indiana Jones. As you saw in the video, the Knight Rider makes a race car track around the back of you, and
that was
the
funny.
and Kit like drives around you. So they're spending time augmenting these for the VR environment. So they're not just dumping these in here. I'm sure they could dump them in quickly, but they're trying to bring some value, which I do appreciate. I'll also say that the mini games that take place in these original tables are completely rebuilt for VR. So for the Pirates table, it warped me to the playfield, and I was literally shooting a cannon at stuff in the playfield, looking up like I was a tiny man inside the machine. So they're doing things like that. I don't know if they advertise that enough, because so you are getting a bit more for the money than just a port of the PC tables. But overall, very impressed. I think it will be leaner and cleaner over the next few months as they kind of work out bugs and add more tables. But a really solid launch.
All right. Well, let's talk price. It's $10. What is your verdict?
$10 for 3 tables in a full VR arcade, I think, is a no-brainer. If you like pinball and you like VR, these 3 games are great. So you'll at least enjoy that, and then you can decide what you want to spend beyond that based on the tables you've probably tried on PC. So
very good.
Yeah, it's a win.
All right. Next up, we got the game Rosewater, developed by Grundislav Games, published by Application Systems Heidelberg. Released March 27th on Steam for $19.99, a thrilling Western adventure in the alternate 19th century world of Lamplight City. Embark on a harrowing journey across the frontier with Harley Ledger and a ragtag posse, encountering bandits, rebels, visionaries, eccentrics, and many more friends and foes on your quest for fame and riches. Ian, tell us about your time with Rosewater.
Well, first off, the name is pronounced Leger.
Ah.
Yeah. Oh, whatever. But well, it's an interesting game, and I kind of feel, because I went into it kind of cold turkey. The only thing I really knew about it was that it was Wild West based and that it was a point and click adventure. And finding out that it was set in a more steampunky alternate timeline was actually a rather pleasant surprise. And they do a lot of world building, which is very appreciated. But I'm trying to think. I might spit a few hot takes, but just give me a minute to explain them. Because I feel that knowing what you're getting into will affect a player's opinion about this. Because when I heard point and click adventure, being my age, I immediately thought back to like classic LucasArts type games, Grim Fandango, Full Throttle, Indiana Jones, Fate of Atlantis, those kinds of point and click adventures. And in a manner of speaking, like, this is, in a literal definition, a point and click adventure, but it is a much more character driven narrative, because the opening chapter has you playing a woman who is moving out into this kind of sort of podunky Wild West town, and she's getting a job as a writer for the local paper. And as you familiarize yourself with the town and its occupants, you kind of run into some people, and basically the long and short of it is that you kind of get pitched to join up on a treasure hunt, because apparently a character who is, I guess I would compare him to sort of like Nikola Tesla. Basically, he's trying to pioneer a new form of energy, but due to a catastrophic event that resulted in the deaths of a lot of people, it kind of got kiboshed by the government, and he kind of went into exile. Well, self-imposed exile. And as a result, all the money and funds that he had accumulated in order to build this, I don't want to say gone missing, but the guy that kind of clues you into all this is like, well, the guy kind of disappeared, and we're kind of wondering what happened to all that cash. We don't know if he's alive, we don't know if he's dead, but the money that he had is out there somewhere. So the opening chapter is basically you kind of wandering around trying to figure out a solid lead to where you go hunt this treasure, and along the way you slowly build up your posse, and I think you ultimately end up with, I want to say, 6 people total. And it's a pretty interesting cast. Like, everyone, from what I can see, is pretty well written. But it isn't until after you finish the first chapter that the game's core loop becomes apparent. Because you get everyone together and you basically hire someone to be your Uber ride to the next location where you believe this inventor guy wandered off to. And I remember seeing a map. Or no, check that. You get on the thing and you go, and basically the game turns into episodic adventures, which, as far as I can tell, have absolutely nothing to do with the treasure hunt whatsoever. Basically, the treasure hunt is, I don't necessarily want to go so far as to call it a MacGuffin, but it definitely takes a very pointed backseat slide. Because we're traveling along and, you go through some episodic misadventures. I'm not going to describe them because I don't want to risk spoiling anything. And along these adventures, you basically have encounters and you kind of get to know your posse peeps, and you cultivate, relationships and stuff like that and everything. And then at the end of the game day, it'll show your progress as to how you're doing. And then I take one look, and the map is, I guess if I was going to compare the map, it's sort of like an alternate take on like Southern California, Nevada, Arizona, like that little corner of the country. And I looked at this map and how little progress we made, because basically we're going from, like, if I was just going to throw some cities out there, it's like we're going from Phoenix to San Francisco. And the amount of travel that we did in one day was absurdly small. And I'm like, basically, like, if we have this giant ass fucking journey to get to point A, from point A to point B, and that's as far as I made it in one game day, that pretty much drops the hint that this entire game is about the journey, not the destination. And I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way. It's just, if you have your heart set on playing like a very intense point and click adventure and figuring out how to get this treasure and all this and that, that's not really what you're kind of signing up for. So I've probably logged in about, I'm trying to think, because I got about 2.5 streams in, so I'm going to say about like 10 to 12 hours. And, hold on a second, Joe. I will send a picture of the map of my current progress. Let's see. All right. Where'd you go? It doesn't matter what channel I drop this in.
Not really, no.
All right, I'll just put it in general then. Yeah, if you zoom in on that, start out in Rosewater, which is, I have the start and the destination, squared up in red, and you can see the trail that I've progressed so far. That's about 12 hours in. That's about 12 hours in. Wow. I've probably almost played a game week, and that's as far as I've made it.
Damn, this is a hefty game.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm not shitting on it. It's just, like I said, if you know what you're in for from the onset, then you're going to have a very enjoyable time. Because I don't want it, because there's a lot, like I said, it's a very character-driven thing. There are a lot of times where you'll be sitting around the campfire and you'll have conversations with people. There will be instances where someone will ask your character to kind of wander off. You two have your own little mini adventure, and then you can kind of bond over it. One thing that I will definitely praise is the fact that a lot of your choices in dialogue and action matter. And you've heard me bitch about games that present the illusion of, free choice while railroading you with a narrative.
Yeah.
This instance, like, there are some instances where, like, it doesn't matter what you do. But there are some things that you'll do that, like, it doesn't seem like it might matter, but fast forward like an hour or two, and then something will come up where someone will reference what you did, and it'll affect their reaction or the gameplay. Like, for example, when you first start the game, this isn't even a spoiler. This is like literally what happens 10 seconds after the game begins, is that a kid tries to distract you by pretending to be the town greeter while his kid brother tries to pick your pocket. Well, anyways, you catch the kid trying to pick your pocket, and then the older brother runs off like a bitch, and then you have to sit there and figure out how to deal with the other kid. Anyways, fast forward, there's another part where you have to get into kind of like a a Buffalo Bill Wild West theater to watch a show because that's your first assignment from your editor. And that one kid that distracted you in the beginning is supposedly selling tickets at the door. And he does absolutely nothing to convince you whether or not he's legit or trying to screw you over again. And long story short, he kind of gives you a line that, oh, the performance is totally sold out. But if you do me a favor, I could probably sneak you in. So, abbreviating the conversation, he kind of gives you a story about how you have to get a watch from a vagrant squatter. And once again, absolutely nothing about this conversation really tilts you as to whether or not he's telling the truth or completely bullshitting you. So you have a bunch of options on how you can do it. You can be like, well, okay, I'll do it if I can get in the show. Or I can do it if it means that your brother doesn't get caught by the local sheriff. Or you can just be like, hey, how about I don't do it and you let me in or else? I went with that choice. Long story short, I ended up knocking him the fuck out. Now, this is interesting because I went in, watched the show, came out, and it turns out the little brother squealed and got the sheriff. And he basically put me in jail because, granted, the kids are absolute rapscallion scoundrels, but you can't let me be walking around punching the fuck out of kids.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing is that there was another woman in the jail. And it turns out that this was the so-called vagrant I was supposed to steal the watch from. And she's in jail because she knocked the little brother out when he tried to get the watch from her. So basically, we kind of had a bonding moment over that. And then on top of that, you later find out that she's the one who's going to Uber your asses to your final location. And because you punched out that brother, she gives you a 50% discount on the price.
Jeez.
So I was very pleasantly pleased and surprised to see that a lot of my choices actually matter and affect things. And the cool part about it is that unless you actually scum save and go back and replay things over and over and over again, you can't really tell which ones will or won't. So you can't kind of game the system, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I have not beaten this game, but with the way things are set up, I'm very sure that there are going to be multiple endings. And I don't necessarily know if they're going to be necessarily good, bad, neutral, or otherwise. I think it's just basically going to culminate as a result of all the stuff you do along the way. Because like I said, the whole treasure hunt thing is more of the catalyst to facilitate the journey. And this game is very much about the journey and not necessarily destination. At least I haven't gotten far enough for it to be.
No.
So
let's talk price on this one. It's a $20 game. What are your thoughts? Is this something worth checking out?
Yeah, if you're into a very character-driven game with a lot of dialogue and character building and all that kind of stuff, and you can play your character as a nice person, neutral, or dick, then yeah, very much so. Just don't go into it thinking it's going to be a more traditional quote unquote point and click kind of adventure.
No,
because I can see how people could probably get annoyed at the fact that the treasure hunt gets back shelved for a lot of content that has no effective relevance towards that particular goal.
Yeah.
But like I said, I would recommend it if that's your wheelhouse, and I would recommend a try it if you think it might tickle your fancy.
Cool. And if people are on the fence, there's a demo on Steam. So download the demo, give it a try, and see if it clicks with you.
Yeah.
All right, next game, Breakout Beyond, developed by Choice Provisions, published by ATARI, released March 25th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, and PC for $14.99. Breakout is back. Choice Provisions, the bit trip makers, have flipped the legendary series on its head, or its side. In this neon-drenched take on the classic, you'll need to literally break through each puzzle by clearing bricks to breach the final goal. Longer play will rack up a combo and increase the intensity of the effects, creating a spectacular light show as a reward for the most skilled players. Jacob, I'm going to guess you didn't see any special light shows because you suck at the game.
Occasionally I did. Occasionally. But not very often. So
tell us about this one. What's going on in Breakout Beyond?
So Atari's been reimagining their hits of yesteryear, and so Breakout. This is, it's time to break out.
Hold on.
There we go.
Yeah.
So anyway, what Breakout is that you have this little paddle, and you're hitting a ball against these bricks, and the bricks disappear after like so many hits. And as you're doing it, you're trying to break past the brick wall that you're trying to destroy. And with this game, you're kind of trying to do it with as few hits as possible. I mean, ideally, that's what it would be. But naturally, we're all going to suck at this, especially since we're doing this on a controller. And the game does have features, or not features, but like settings, where you can adjust the sensitivity of your paddle. It doesn't really help. I could also just really, really suck, but I don't know. I kind of felt like this might benefit from having like an arcade joystick to mess with, but yeah, it's Breakout with trippy visuals in the back, and you try to make combos as big as you can, and the game will kind of speed up, but also it just gets damn hard. But it's very addicting as you just you're just trying to break the wall. And one of the neat things
how's
with
the
this
procedural
mechanic,
audio and video in the game, because that's something that they're hyping on the store page, is the procedural audio and visual effects that ramp up with your combo.
It sounds glorious to listen to with headphones on.
Nice.
The visuals are pretty nice. I mean, it's nice bright colors. And as you're doing better, it looks better. Unfortunately, I didn't really get to see that too often.
Let's be honest. How is it high?
I've heard it's pretty neat.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But yeah, like if you're a fan of Breakout or you're a fan of, chill. I mean, actually, no, this game is kind of the opposite of chill because it just gets really hard. Like, it really gets hard. But what's really cool is that you can now like curve your shots, and like they actually, and it's pretty neat. I mean, it takes you a while to master it. And my kids were like, Dad's losing an awful lot at this.
Did they play with you at all?
No, they weren't that interested, which is weird because they really like Just Shapes and Beats, but like this one, they were kind of like, it's Pong. Who cares?
If for those interested, it does have local co-op for 2-player. And then I see it has over 70 levels in the game.
I think it's like 78 or something.
72, I think.
Okay.
It's a pretty beefy game, so let's talk price. It's $15. What are your thoughts on it?
Absolutely. I was having a lot of fun with it. It's a big challenge. And it keeps it fresh enough that I think a lot of people would like it.
Cool. Next game, Blue Wednesday, developed by Buff Studio and Forever Entertainment, published by Forever Entertainment, released March 28th, Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, PS5, $14.99. An interactive game where the player can move through the city and chat with various NPCs, play the piano, and interact with lots of other items through the main character, Morris. The main parts of the game are mini-games and adventures, and learning more about Morris's story through vivid cutscenes that pop up at key moments in the game. Bri, what is Blue Wednesday?
So this is a musical game, so headphones are recommended. The game starts out in spring, and Morris, a jazz pianist, wakes up tired but with a song in his heart. So we go play the piano. This puts us in a rhythm mini-game using up and left on the D-pad for the left side of the piano and the Y and B keys for the right side. After we're done with our song, our neighbor comes to complain, then our alarm goes off, it's time to go to work. And looking around, it's really clear that Morris is a mess, maybe even a little depressed with the humdrum life he leads. And all the little things add up, like the shower mini game, it's almost impossible to get the temperature just right. He's got a terrible dead-end job at a grocery store, and he's behind in rent, and all he wants to do is play music. At work, we get to play a bunch of mini games like scanning food on the conveyor belt. There's a soda restocking puzzle to solve, but nothing we do is good enough, and Morris gets fired. To be fair, he was apparently late like 12 out of 24 shifts. And on his way home, when he thinks all is lost, he finds a hiring ad for, of all things, a jazz pianist. So, poor young Morris, so disillusioned, he finds himself just depressed when faced with this real opportunity. He asks for some time to prepare for the audition, and come day of, he's had no sleep, he's playing like shit, he's totally in a panic freeze moment during his audition, and for whatever reason, they give him a second chance to play, and we play like a pro, and we get the job. The city we walk around in has a colorful cast of characters to talk to, and animals to pet. You can even play the piano in the square. There are collectibles in the form of jazz records to find, and you can listen to them all in your apartment. A lot of time is spent on the Piano Hero minigame, in between all the walking from place to place and exploring and chatting with people. There are plenty of shops you can walk into. And for as depressed and disconnected as Morris seems at first, he knows a lot of people in his community. So if you spend enough time fostering those relationships, you'll be rewarded with records or sheets of music for the piano. There's no voice acting in this. It's all text balloons, which is fine so long as you're prepared for it. It's not a particularly long game, a few hours at most, maybe a little longer if you're going for all the collectibles, or if you're really terrible at the music minigames. And it doesn't have a big sweeping up note, having overcome all of his struggles. There's a bit more real, like Morris dealing with his anxiety and depression. He has to learn the hard way about the consequences of his actions. You know, kind of like when he just was a really terrible employee at the grocery store. But there is a good discussion in this piece about following your passions, and that was good. There seemed to be little choice that impacted the story in any meaningful way, making this fairly linear. A couple of negative things for me. There was only an autosave, which left something to be desired when I had to walk away from the game and lost a little progress. Not a ton of progress, but a little progress. Yeah. I had finished the big audition and gone back to the apartment, and when I reloaded my save, I had to redo my audition over again. Not the end of the world, but, you know, I feel like I played better the first time around, and I don't know if that affected anything, but here we are. There's only a pause in between scenes to get to the main menu or anything like that, which I found challenging trying to take notes. There is no difficulty for the piano minigame, so just be good. Sometimes you'll have to press multiple buttons at once, and they're not always easy, like pressing the up and left on the D-pad at the same time for a chord.
Ouch.
Yeah. It's not impossible, but it's not as fluid as I think they would have liked it to be. Overall, I found the story and minigames enjoyable, but I didn't feel like this was a hit. Like, if you like jazz, not just the music but the spirit of it, you might find some extra value in this game. If you don't, I'm not sure there's a ton to love about the game. Like the game, yes.
How many songs would you say? Like, how many times do you play the mini game in the game you played? You know what I mean? Like, how many?
So every day when you wake up, you have the opportunity to play a brand new song because you're like slowly working on a jazz album. So every day you wake up, which I mean, like, there's probably like 10 songs right there. And then when you go to the jazz club, Birds, you get to play while you're there, and there's like a good mix of stuff, and then there's other mini games in the middle, but the piano mini game is like a big part of the game.
Cool. Will this teach my musician friends to not be late to shit anymore?
No,
because this hits hard. Just saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
no.
all right. I'll buy it for him anyway.
All right.
All right. Well, let's talk price on it. It's $15. What do you think?
I think it's a decent price for the game for what it is, but it didn't grab me, and so I'm going to put this at a try it.
Gotcha. Looks cute. I want to give it a go. I like the rhythm game aspect to it, but it worries me that there's chords in there. Like,
it's not that scary. It's just like there's simulation for a chord. Yeah,
annoying
it's just 2 buttons at a time. Well, and it's jazz, so there's like runs and stuff that you're going to be doing where you're going to be pressing BY up left, and then you're going to jam a chord, and then you're going to scale back down on your run right after. And that was challenging when you're doing like two hands on the controller, if that makes sense.
All right.
It just took a bit to get used to.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, moving on. Quick question, Grant. Did you know that Power Glove was doing the soundtrack for the Netflix Devil May Cry series?
No, that's wild.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on iTunes right now.
I love that. Oh, it's fantastic.
That's definitely
wow.
Cool. Bunch of Power Glove, a few songs from Alex Seaver, and one from Evanescence.
Oh, wow.
Where did they get off to do awesome?
DMC knows what they're doing a thing. Yeah. That's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, of course. It's everything that 12-year-olds think is cool.
Yes. Metal
and Evanescence. All right, next game, yeah. My Little Universe. Developed by Astadi, published by SayGames, released April 4th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Windows Store, PS4, PS5 for $14.99. Stranded on a barren moon with nothing but your tools, fuelless ship, and celestial powers of creation, you're destined to recreate what was once lost and be the hero of your own little universe. Don't forget to call in up to 3 of your friends to join your journey in split-screen co-op mode. Jacob, what is My Little Universe?
The My Little Universe is it's a interesting little game there. Where pretty much, like, you know, all those games that they advertise in, like, when you're playing like a free-to-play mobile game, and it's just like, it's this like little game where you run around as like a guy with like a sword or an axe, and like you have to collect all these things, and then you build this thing, and then you build a bridge, then you go over there and you collect more stuff, and then it's like, play this game and hot girls will adore you or whatever. I don't know, man. Anyways, so this is pretty much that game, and it turns out it's pretty fun. Like the concept, except this time there's no bait and switch. It's the actual game. And so you have to run around on these various planets and collect all these resources. Sometimes you have to refine them into other stuff. And you'll use it to, as I said, you build land tiles, you'll build bridges, you'll build buildings. Sometimes you go on quests and you have to defeat monsters or collect certain items, like a key to unlock this guy from like this cage. And so if you unlock him, then he makes a certain upgrade available for you and stuff like that. And you pretty much just go through all these different levels doing it. And what they do is that after a certain amount of time, you are able to select one of like 3 or 4 different abilities or whatever. Like, so all of your slashes might have poison, or you might gather 2 times as much. You can carry up to 10 of these things at any one time, but if you die, you automatically lose one. And so then you have to build up your sword's power again, you know, get another one. And it's I don't want to say like it's easy to die. I mean, the game, if you're careless, it's pretty easy to die. And that could screw you over, because there would be times where I was playing this and it would be like 2:00 in the morning and I'd nod off while I'm playing it. And I'm not saying this is like, oh, this game will put you to sleep. It was 2 a.m. I was tired, like that kind of stuff.
That's fair.
And then I wake up and like I've already lost like 4 of my cards. I'm like, what the shit? I need to stop playing. Like, I was at level 10. Now I'm level 6. Son of a bitch. And so it's just like that kind of stuff can happen, but it's pretty fun and addicting. Like, for as simple as the game is. And I mean, it's a pretty mindless game, but you know, it's fun. I liked it.
Cool. Well, let's talk price. $15 right now for the next 2 weeks. You could get it for $11.99, at least on Xbox. I'm seeing it on sale. What are your thoughts?
I'd give it a try at 15. Like, the formula repeats itself pretty quick. And so I guess you have to be really a fan of like mindless adventure to spend that much on it. If it was 10, I'd be like, heck yeah, buy it. So if anything, you might want to wait for a sale, but I enjoyed it.
It's on sale. I just said that.
I know, but more so. For a lower price.
All right, next game, Vindefiant, developed and published by Blakey Games, released April 4th on Steam for $14.99. Disgruntled employee is fired from his job, sparking a path of rage and destruction. Lead Alex through his journey of vengeance and creatively kill enemies in this pixel art adventure where you are the villain. Aki, what is Vindefiant?
Okay, Vindefiant is basically if someone said, let's do Carrion, but with a very pissed off office worker. And it works really well. So you're playing as some no-name office worker named Alex, and you're called in one day super early, way before you usually come in, and you're all excited because you're being called up by the boss, and you're like, they've noticed how hard I've been working. I'm gonna get promoted or maybe a pay raise or something. This is great. You go in, elevators closed. Okay, well, let's go take the stairs are closed. How the fuck am I supposed to get to the CEO's office? What the hell? So you decide to go into the elevator shaft and platform your ass up to the top floor. Because you're one of those real go-getters, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, it took forever to get up there. I guess I should tell you all, this is one of those very hard platforming games. Yeah, I was expecting this to be very much like Karen, where you play as the monster and you eat people, where it's easy to get around.
Yeah, that's the vibes that it has. It has the Carrion vibes.
Exactly, and I was so excited because I thought it was just going to be like that, and it ends up, there's a whole lot of very precise platforming in this, and it does keep track of your deaths. So you know just how much you suck. And the answer is, for me, a lot.
I would have guessed that.
Yeah, on one level, just one level, I have like 40-something deaths already. Yeah, it's bad. Because and matter of fact, if you go back and you're like, well, you know, it says this many deaths, so I'm going to replay it, and I'm going to do better this time. No. It keeps track of all of your deaths on that level. Doesn't matter if it's 1 playthrough, 10 playthroughs. It just wants to rub the salt into the wound just a little bit more because it's a little bastard.
I'm just going to say you probably deserve it.
I definitely do. I don't know if everyone playing it probably does. So there's also collectibles to obtain. There are little tendril upgrades is what they're called, but they don't seem to upgrade anything. They're just things to collect, and they're little orbs. And guess what? They're behind areas where you're going to die. And die. And die.
Yay.
And, well, I repeat that about a dozen more times, and maybe you might stop dying at that point, but not likely. So that's always fun, and every level has a bunch of them. I think on the first level they appeared on, it was level 2, and there was like 13 of them in it. Not all of them are particularly well hidden. Some of them are kind of like right there. You just have to figure out how to get to them. Some of them are extremely well hidden. I've replayed levels 3 or 4 times trying to find them all. The last level I actually completed, I've played like 4 times now, and I fucking hate the level. And I still am missing like 4 of them in there. And I'm like, I have no idea where the fuck these are supposed to be, and this is driving me out of my mind. But basically, you've decided after getting fired, you get some sold your soul to the devil or something. It doesn't explain any of this, but suddenly you have black tentacles coming off of you, and you can grab people and throw them or into lots of different things and so on and so forth. And the character talks about how they have demonic power, but it's not explained how they got this power or anything. It's the end of the first level, you get fired, and you're like, I'm going to have my revenge. Next level, you have tentacles. How? Oh, because it's cool. That's how. And you're just slaughtering your way through every level. You can kill the innocent employees that you find throughout the level. Eventually, armed guards start appearing, and you can kill them, or you can let them shoot the shit out of you, and you can die like a little bitch. So, but you're the bad guy. You got to keep that in mind. You're the bad guy. You're here to slaughter people. You don't care how many people you have to slaughter, or if they're innocent or not. So kill them. Kill them all. In this, you can, as I said, you can pick them up, you can slam them into walls, into the ceilings, ground, it doesn't matter. It takes a lot to kill them if you're doing that, but eventually you will probably rip their limb off. And yeah, all the limbs can be ripped off, by the way. Nice. Arms, legs, the skull, from the head from the body, all of it can be ripped off. Even after they're dead, you can still do it. So, yeah, you can fling them around. You can occasionally find big industrial fans, and you can rip the protective stuff off of that and then hold their body up to it, and it'll spin around and completely just rip them to shreds and send their parts everywhere. This has a whole bunch
stress reliever.
Yes, it is. Every time I find one, I kill a couple people that way because it is so fucking great. This has a lot of blood in it. Like, blood will be spraying for some time. You can fling them into electrical areas. You can fling them into walls that have spikes on them, and they'll stick up there. You can drown them. I drowned one in a toilet, and it gave me an achievement.
Tell us all the ways you could kill people in this game.
That is the only thing that really matters in this game. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's a $15 game. Is the stress relief worth the $15?
This is where I'm a little conflicted, because a good chunk of the game is really fun, but then you hit the precision platforming, and that kills the momentum of the game so significantly, and it's generally just not very fun when it hits those little sections, because you might die 10 or so times before you finally get it, and you might get through one section, but then when you die later on, and it teleports you to the very beginning again. So I really like the game, but it's very hard to recommend this unless it's on a steep discount, just because those sections, they just kill the momentum and make it very not fun anymore. So I would say if this sounds like something you might want to play, go get it. If you're really questioning, get it when it's on like a 50% off sale or something. Because then at that price, I can definitely say, yes, totally worth it. At full price, that I can't fully recommend it on a full price.
We could try it, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Royal Romances Forbidden Magic, developed by Domini Games and Metaboo, published by Legacy Games, released March 6th. Xbox One Series X and S for $12.99. What can a human do for the chance of love or power? Is it possible to overcome obstacles through hope or faith in love? Lead your valiant heroes through the thorny path to their most cherished desires and find out. Bri, what's Royal Romances Forbidden Magic?
This is a fantasy point-and-click adventure hidden object puzzle game. The majority of its achievements are 27 points apiece, making this appealing to Joe.
Buy it.
Part of what makes this a collector's edition includes concept art, movies, music player, a way to replay the minigames and hidden object puzzles, as well as a bonus chapter. These games were originally released episodically, and this one starts at episode 5, so I'm guessing this is the second game in the collector's edition series based on previous games from this company.
Hold up. Quick question. What do you mean a way to replay that? Like, you don't get that if you get the normal version?
It is my understanding that those are features of this edition, yes.
Oh, wow.
Whereas previously it was released episodically, you didn't have those on PC that way.
You would just buy per episode.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes more sense.
You have different difficulties from casual, where you get hotspots and hints, to hardcore, where you get no help at all. There's also a custom difficulty where you can set different parameters to your liking. In addition to the main game and puzzles, there are hidden collectible items to keep your eyes out for. Story starts out with the main character Ursula opening a spell book. She's a witch of some kind. And then a demon comes out of the book and takes away all of her powers. So now we have to go get them back. And Ursula has pissed off a lot of people, apparently, in her past dealings with her magic. So nobody seems really helpful at first. Our first stop is a magic tavern, which only allows magical creatures to enter, but we've lost her powers, so we've got to find some way to get in without her magic. And then later, we'll meet all kinds of magical creatures in pursuit of our goal. Dialogue choices matter and have an impact on the game's storyline. I feel like the choices are often obvious what will give you the better outcome. You know, like, just be nice or something. Don't be a dick. If you've never seen one of these styles of games before, they go a little something like this. You get a quest and a pretty background scene to find things with your cursor. You'll find the most random of objects, like a magic wand, a comb, and a crowbar, and you need to figure out where you can use them. You might eventually find some flyer that will tell you that if you combine your magic wand with other items, it'll do a magic trick to get you in the door. But to find those items, you might need the comb to pull out some nails and the crowbar to open a crate. And then, of course, you'll dispose of these useful items because you couldn't possibly ever need to use them again, only to find something in another scene to open a different crate later. And sometimes you'll need to pass some mini games, like playing cards with someone to get to the next leg of your quest going, or you'll need to solve some complicated lock to get doors open. In between all this will be hidden object scenes where you'll need to find some of the differences between two pictures, or collect a bunch of seemingly useless objects to find a key in a pile of junk that someone has left behind. And there's always people leaving behind piles of junk. I don't know what the deal is, but that's the shtick. You do have hints available if you're on casual difficulty, or you can play a match 3 game to get through a hidden object puzzle section. The mini games can also be played on easy or hard difficulty. This game does have voice acting. I've heard better. And partially animated cutscenes, which were decent. I found the cursor was a little clunky in this one too, but I noticed that there was a slide adjuster for sensitivity in the settings to help offset that.
Nice.
I would say this developer definitely has a formula to it, and that's not necessarily a bad thing unless you're playing a lot of these games back to back. But yeah, overall I had a decent time with this one.
All right. It is $12.99. What are your thoughts on this one?
If you like these kinds of games, I can recommend it at that price. If you've never played this kind of game before, this is not the one to start with, partially because, like I said, it's episode 5, and I feel like I missed out on a little bit of the story setup for the Royal Romances world by playing this one and not whatever the first one was in the series.
All right. All right, moving on. Next game, Cargo, developed by Memory Leak Games and Cleverson Games, published by Ultimate Games. Released March 25th on Xbox One, Series X and S for $12.99. Are you ready to start your journey in logistics? As a fresh delivery driver, you'll take on various transportation tasks across the many islands of the land, help the numerous warehouses get their required goods, no matter how strange the order. With chaotic gameplay and tight time limits, Cargo will keep you on the edge of your seat. We have also been keeping our listeners on the edge of their seat as we have a giveaway going for this game, courtesy the fine folks at Ultimate Games. Should we draw a winner and see who's going to win this before the review?
No.
I mean, we could, I guess, yeah.
Build up the tension.
Well, let's giveaway close. Giveaway draw. Congrats to Sir Khaled, who just won a copy of the game. Jacob, tell us about Cargo.
Kinky bananas.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, Jacob, tell us about the game. And
no,
then
not
Aki
you,
said
Aki.
Kinky bananas.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So, Cargo is a multiplayer party. I mean, it's essentially a party game. I mean, it doesn't really have to be, but it's best done as a party. And pretty much what you're doing is you're driving this car around, and the controls kind of stink. I mean, they're simple enough that kids can get the concept of it, but it's also one of those, like, purposely slightly crappy or awkward. So then you're just driving all around the city and crashing into stuff, and, you know... And also trying to avoid hazards, which could cause your car to blow up. And you might be able to take out some of your competitors if you play your cards right. But the point of it is to get your package from point A to point B, navigate the traffic, and don't blow up along the way. And yeah, it's, as I said, it's a pretty chaotic game. My kids, I did actually get to play a couple of games with them earlier this evening, and my oldest really appreciated the chaotic nature of it. My youngest wasn't as much of a fan because he was having a hard time figuring out, first off, where his car was on the map, but then also just the driving controls, they just were not clicking for him. And so I don't know if maybe older kids, 10, 12, thereabout, is more suitable than 7-year-olds. But yeah, I mean, I was having a lot of fun with it. It's especially as you're just trying to prevent everyone else from being able to complete their missions while getting your stuff delivered. Yeah, it's fun, if not a bit of a learning curve.
All right, well, let's make a decision on it. It's $12.99. Give us your verdict.
I think it's a decent party game. Yeah, $12 I'm fine with.
$13.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, then fuck that.
Yes, screw that. That's a denied.
That's
if
a
I
complete
ever
fucking
heard
deal
one.
breaker right there.
It's all
13.
over. It's all over.
What, next you're going to tell me that they charge tax on it? Jeez.
God.
Yeah, $13 is fine.
Cool.
This is what late stage capitalism will get you.
And if you're on the fence, Ultimate Games gave us a second code to give away, so we got that giveaway going on now. That'll run until the end of the show in the music, so get your entries in on that one as well. Next game, Alchemist Shop Simulator, developed and published by Cool2Play, released March 11th on Steam for $11.99. Run your own magic business. In Alchemist Shop Simulator, you can trade magical wares, brew potions, and take on special orders. Meet many quirky clients, grow your ingredients in your garden, restock your shelves, and manage prices. Keep expanding your business as you gain experience and wealth. Ian, tell us about Alchemist Shop Simulator.
Well, I'm going to try to not sound mean in saying this, but to me, this game kind of came off as a bit of a gravy train type of game. I mean, it's competently done. I mean, it's passable, but there really there really isn't any depth or nuance to it. I mean, it's you could take the core engine and then slap a paint job. You could use this for a generic cooking simulator. You can use it as a generic weed shop simulator. Yeah, I mean, it's nice, it's cute, it's quaint, but I kind of feel like if you're looking for a very Alchemist focused game, there are other games that do it better. If you're looking for a more shop sim oriented game, I feel like there are other games that do it better. But yeah, I mean, there's really not a whole lot to talk about. I mean,
it just run the store and grow
pretty much. I mean, yeah, because you have your shop and you have a lab where you can quote unquote brew your potions, and the potion brewing, you literally kind of go through motions. You'll get a recipe and it'll be crunch this up in the mortar and pestle, and then you wiggle your mouse a couple of times to crunch it up, and then you toss it in the thing, and then you stir it 3 times, and you have to sit there and swirl your mouse in circular motions for as long as it needs it to go. And you brew potions, and you can kind of gouge the prices without really any kind of recrimination. I mean, all it really does is just kind of lower the chance that someone will pick it up. You don't get any kind of in-game Yelp rating or customer approval or anything like that. In fact, the customers really there's really no repercussions for for example, if 5 people are sitting at that counter, you can sit there and fuck off for the game day, and as long as you get back and cash them out before the end of the business day, they'll still pay full price, and you'll get your money.
There's no urgency in this.
No, not really. I mean, there really isn't any kind of sense of overarching plot, because in the beginning it's like, oh, you have to make X amount of money to pay off your debt, and then once you pay off your debt, it's just like, you know, you can make special potions for certain people within a certain time frame, but there's always enough time to do it, and eventually you can actually automate the gardening process for growing your stuff and the actual potion brewing itself. There really aren't a whole lot of options for like customizing your shop at all. I mean, basically you just kind of unlock shelves of various sizes and you can put them in. And I mean, it's like I said, you know, I wouldn't call it shovelware, because I mean, it is competently done, but it's just
unremarkable.
Yeah. It's very inoffensively middling. Like I said, I mean,
for you then. You're working to pay off this debt. Can you make money faster by doing this, or would you make money faster by just having sex with people?
Considering how long it usually takes to brew up the potions, you could probably pay it off by having sex with people.
Damn, that's sad.
Yeah. You know, and it's, yeah, and like I said, like, because I'm trying to think, what, I forgot what it was called, but there was a real nice alchemy shop game. It wasn't like 3D in this, was it Alchemy Potion Brewer or something like that? Hold on a second, let me see if I can find it. Potion Craft. Yeah. Like, I feel like if you're looking for an alchemy game, you'd probably be better leaning into that. If you're looking for a shop game, then, I mean, 10 minutes on Steam, I'm sure you could probably find more compelling shop games. So, you know, like I said, you know, I don't want to be too mean about it, but like it's not shovelware. It's not like someone clearly threw this out there to make a quick buck, but it doesn't really do anything interesting. There's really no nuance to it. It's very straightforward, and you know, the production quality is passable. I mean, there were a couple times where I've seen NPCs kind of stuck on the street because they walked into each other and they just keep walking into each other.
Nice.
You know, when you fill out a special order and you hand the potion over to an NPC, there's usually like a little animation of something silly that happens as a result of them drinking the potion. But yeah, like I said, there really isn't anything that stands out about this, or you know, makes it stick out in the ocean of shop sims that are hitting the market nowadays.
All right, well, it's $11.99. What is your verdict?
I would probably give it a pass. I mean, if you're really desperate for something to burn $12 on, I mean, sure. But like, I mean, if you play it for 10 minutes, then you've played it for 10 hours.
All right. Moving on. Next game is Caligo, developed by Creelit, published by Sometimes You, released April 3rd on Series XNS, Switch, and PS5 for $9.99. Caligo is the darkness everyone descends into one way or another, and to each of us, it's something different. For some, it's a short but exciting adventure. Some will see it as a place to relax, yet others will be reminded of their worst nightmare, while for a few, it might come as a revelation. Bri, what the hell is it?
Well, as the description says, this is a walking simulator, which is a term I still loathe, but if the devs went with it, who am I to judge? I would call it an interactive story where you walk through interesting landscapes and explore with narration. You start out in a chamber, you have a kind of amnesia. You're not sure who you are, why you're there, but it's all coming back to you. And this little orb, voice in our head, or other characters in front of us will guide us through several whimsical or horrifying landscapes as the story unfolds. We're told we're walking through our memories, but they're all like distorted and exaggerated. This is fully voice acted to go with the captions, which is nice and helped with immersion. There are drawings to collect along the way that add a little to the story if you pay attention to them. This is a short experience, around an hour, so it's hard to talk about this a lot without ruining the story.
No.
I think the story attempts to be thought-provoking, at least the character, philosophical even, but there's nothing earth-shattering outside the context of the story. There are 2 distinct endings to the game, but they only surround a single choice point at the end. And you can chapter select your way back to there and not have to replay the game to get the second choice ending. the visuals were pretty great, especially considering it was originally released on PC like 2017 or something. I love the vivid colors and the lighting effects. The background music was well suited to the game. I mean, I kind of liked this one. The story made sense. It had decent voice acting. It was all right.
Cool. It's $10. What do you think?
For the price, if you like a good narrative experience or walking simulator, I would say this was worth it.
Cool
if
beans.
You don't like walking simulators, maybe pass. I don't know.
All right. Well, we got one final game to talk about tonight. That's called Bee Flowers Royal Garden. Developed and published by AFIL Games, released April 3rd. Xbox One, Series X and S, Windows Store, PS4, PS5, $4.99 each. Step into the buzzing kingdom and become the mastermind behind the hive. In Bee Flowers Royal Garden, you'll guide majestic queen bees across a hexagonal grid, crafting the perfect paths to lead to their subjects' flowers and ensure successful pollination. Jacob, what's Bee Flowers Royal Garden?
You remember my review for the previous Bee Flowers game?
Nope, repeat it.
Buy it. All right, done.
No, explain the game, you ding dong.
All right, fine. Bee Flowers is this tile puzzle game where you have to rearrange these different piles. These different tiles to create paths for the bees to move, so they can circle. Ideally, they're supposed to circle all throughout all the flowers and pollinate them all on their way to the beehive. Of course, sometimes you are able to create like little quick routes, so you'll miss out on some flowers, but you're really not supposed to. And yeah, it's just a lot of puzzles of that. It's pretty chill. Like the puzzles, I mean, sometimes like, you can get a little tripped up on them, but the game does let you have hints. But overall, it's a pretty relaxing game, and I enjoyed playing it. Like, yeah.
Cool. Bri, did you play this one or just the previous one?
I also played it. I liked the kind of twist that you were now like the queen bee, and you had to move your little worker bees and collect them and motivate them to the flowers. I thought that was neat. There's like a little collectible thing you can do where you collect ladybugs on the screen. But yeah, it was pretty relaxing. I enjoyed it as much as maybe more than I enjoyed the first one. I don't know. I kind of knew what I was in for at this point. So it was more of the same, but that. Like it was good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, it's $5. What do you think?
Yeah.
Unanimous. Good. All right. Well, that is it for this monster episode. It's been a long one. Want to thank everybody for being here. Big thanks to Mustin, Vaughn, and Flik for coming on, hanging out with us while they could. Ian, thanks for hanging out with us. The normal three, blah, 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 whatever. Grant, thank you so much for coming on and spending your birthday evening with us.
No problem. That's it. That's all. No more games. Should I review Just Cause 3? Is that what we're?
If you want to.
We're doing?
No, it is late enough.
I already reviewed that one.
What's that?
I already reviewed that one. I think I did that on a 420 episode.
That would have been. God, that game's 10 years old though. Maybe you reviewed 4. Just Cause 4.
No.
3?
I randomly reviewed 3. I made Joe shoehorn it in.
Oh, did you really? I'm gonna go find it. I'm gonna go find it.
No, check episode 420.
And I think I think I had like a mouthful of nachos while I'm like reviewing it too.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Oh God! Welcome to episode 420 of SML, and things are about to get weird. The show kicks off with something. Can't remember what. I know there was news involved and like telltale info. PS Plus leak for November, and rumors of a new model Nintendo Switch, but I'm lost on the details. Lost on a lot of this episode, and I'm sure you know why. Jacob shows up about an hour in to talk about Just Cause 3 and nachos.
Jacob shows up about an hour in. That's pretty good.
I'm pretty sure that was the episode where I drink a whole bunch too.
Probably.
Sold.
Maybe. But the best part was that was the first time I had ever played a Just Cause game. and I had bought the complete edition, and so the game just loads up everything all at once. And so, like, I was just well, it took me forever, but like, because I was just
there's a lot to unpack.
I was constantly getting my ass kicked because there was that giant airship overhead, and of course, the game's really supposed to be played like you play through Just Cause 3, then you play through this DLC, then you do this. No. I was a fucking idiot, and I ran through that thing and just hated every moment of it. And so you get to listen to me bitch about how much I hate the game, and like, it's not well done. Yeah, well, you didn't fucking play it right, dumbass.
I found almost every collectible item in that entire game.
Aggie, I don't think you were on that episode. Dark Mika writes in a review of The Council episode 4.
I wasn't on that one? Really? What the hell episode did I drink a lot on then? I thought it was for 20. Fuck.
CJ was on. Remember him?
No.
Yeah. He's still like
no. Yeah, he's one of the few co-hosts I still stay in touch with every now and then. So many have just like quit and then ghosted me. It's fun. Yay!
Fair.
Wait, we have a button for that.
Yay!
All right. Well, that is it for this episode. Music. We are going to wrap things up with a song from VIRT.
Spider-Man!
No, we're not going to wrap up with Spider-Man. Plasma Tech Store from VIRT.
Oh, best chip track in history.
I know what we can end the show on.
What?
Hey Grant.
Yo,
Grant. How does it feel to be as old as asteroids?
Oh, was that the next
Snort?
Thank you, Norg. Thanks, Norg. Yeah, buddy. No, did that come out the year I was born?
Maybe.
Fucking weird.
What year were you born?
In 79?
I was.
Yeah, Asteroids released in 79. You are as old as Asteroids.
It feels like something. That's all I got. Feels like something.
You know what else came out in 79? Or wait, no, that was 78. Ah, damn it.
What?
I was going to say the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh, yes.
78.
Yes, I'm very aware. Yeah.
Should we give William Reyes the final words of the episode?
Might as well.
Sure.
Eat my dick for breakfast.